There's JuCo.
That's
All right, I
me.
can mute. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, JuCo.
Hello.
Were we getting any others?
Vela was talking something.
Juke's gonna bust in here at like 4:30.
Juke's
Gumbo.
gonna bust in like the
Fucking
Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid man.
Like
Yeah, if he doesn't come in and say, "Oh yeah, we need to kick him from a server," easy kick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he needs to come and say, "Oh yeah," but if he doesn't do it,
Oh yeah.
wait, he will lose. I will lose all respect for Juke if he doesn't do that.
I don't think Juke's voice could go that low though.
That's
Oh
fair.
yeah.
He doesn't have to do it. Look, he just has to say, "And Bray, I know you can hear me. I dislike you extremely."
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we are live.
Pog.
Oh, Breeze in the chat.
Oh,
Blaze
yeah.
in the chat.
Yeah,
Yes, bro.
yeah. Hey, let's just keep it that way.
Yikes. Hey Vila.
Vela.
Hey, You ever
Vila, get it right. It's
Ayla. I love Ayla, whatever. Toxic. You listen to a song? Ever listen to a song I sent you?
I said, what's cooler than being Vela? Nothing. Alright.
Alright. Okay, now, Harmony tier. Yeah, alright. I'm too old, I guess. Nobody knows it.
PDK and I.
I heard you singing it though, JuCo. I'm proud.
I know that
So
one.
yeah,
I was singing
you
that
need
out
this
loud
hard. You
at
only
my
keep
juice
going on
station
me.
yesterday.
Harmony, that's PDK and I. What's up, JuCo?
Alright.
So, can we say it now? Discord best tier?
Discord best tier?
Yeah, no bias.
I mean, Discord did have 5 teams to spam.
I was about to
so-
say.
Gang.
Second, you guys had like 5 teams drop on you.
It was tactical. It was tactical.
It was
There's
for
just
sure.
as many Discord teams as Harmony
Tactical
tier teams
drops?
left now. Just as many teams left in both tiers. Is all I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's true.
True.
Is that? Well, I thought the season was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, no, I had a blast this season.
Yeah.
I had a blast
do a lot
until
of
we
winning,
lost the
but it was
playoffs.
still
It was definitely.
Well, that's not the season. That's the postseason. That ain't real.
Yeah, the actual season was fun.
Postseason, who dat?
Beginning of season,
Oh, no,
yeah,
Congress.
that was
Oh
fun.
no, we got the resident throne in here.
We got the best.
Yo, beginning
what
of
was it?
There's a direct correlation to when Eclipse was bad to when Prodigious was in second. So
We siphoned their power.
yeah, well the minute we got our first
fucking
loss
put
to
a
you guys,
Monstars
we were
on them.
like went into poop mode.
Yeah, no, we were first in the B. Yeah, he was. I remember that. Yeah, it sucks. We lost all that for that one's still with me.
Gang.
My old team beat me twice, and I'm kind of upset about it.
Oh, I bet you if you played Alt F4 at the end of the season, y'all would probably beat them.
Oh yeah.
Probably wouldn't be very close.
No.
No. Beginning of the season, we were bad because we eventually picked up Rocket, right? Sorry. Rocket. Pretty crazy. Oh yeah, Rocket's a nuts player. Insane. So is Pyro.
I don't have any conversation here, brother.
I was complimenting you.
The subtlety there.
Can't wait for Juke to bust in.
Yeah, dude, he better say.
There's
Juke
a couple things I
better-
can't wait for. That's one. Gotta get Juke in here. Also,
Sure.
like March. Oh, that's such a long wait.
Oh,
until
is that
season
when
four.
season 4
I
starting?
messaged Cav. I was like, cause I was looking at other tournaments to do in the meantime, and I was like, yo, Cav, hit me with that secret knowledge. When is it starting? He's like, late.
Are you supposed to say this on stream?
Oh no, dude. If anybody DMs me anything, it's not safe. Don't even
Did
think.
he know that?
I ain't telling everybody.
He's saying that now.
No, he.
Okay, that is very good
Wait, what's that
information.
post in
Yeah.
Tranquility announcements? JuCoHi has been banned from the Tranquility server? Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, Tranquility community. Yikes.
I'll still do the podcast, and I'll hashtag the community. So I'll just be a rogue.
Yeah, you'll just kind of come in like a
He'll
freelance
become-
every now and then.
he'll
Get me the
be-
scoop.
He'll become a Halo of fonts for Trank. Like, everyone's just gonna leak him everything, and he's just gonna go out anonymously, not leak his sources and say what's going on.
Yeah, he'll be our King Michael, basically. All the trades
Yeah.
going, all the backdoor stuff.
And then he's gonna go to Fortnite.
Exactly.
Oh, PK, that means we are not safe.
Oh no.
Yeah, the
Hey,
dream
Michael, I
to
don't
see it
think-
on like
I don't think that's a real
esportsman-like
person.
conduct.
Yeah.
PDK and I are not safe from JuCo. Thank God we did not tell him anything.
Yeah,
That's
about to say
right.
anything you tell me, everybody's gonna learn in the next day. There's
Yeah,
nothing
I'm
safe
glad
here.
you're putting that out now. That's good PSA for the rest of this conversation.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we're only
Actually, though,
we were only like what 14 interviews in, and I didn't tell anybody. It wasn't up to me though. Everybody sees it.
I'm gonna say Eclipse had some bad luck with some interviews. I'm not gonna name any names, but someone may accidentally leaked what we were running in scrims like a day before a match. I'm not gonna name names though.
That was
I'm not
funny.
commenting, you're a
I
team
love it when
well.
teams do
I was
that. They're
gonna
like,
say
let me
their
tell you your
name.
whole comp.
You want,
I love
You
that.
want to know something worse though? You want to know something worse?
What?
Is in the middle of a match, like at the beginning of the map, the team scouts your comp, asks for a map restart, and then counter comps what you're running.
Oh, that's scummy.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
I'm not
messed
naming
up.
names, but it happened.
Yeah, opposite of it. If you go into an interview and you like leak what you're gonna be running, you don't have anyone else to blame.
Oh no, we
Actually,
didn't.
though.
Yeah, no, I didn't leak. It was someone else on the interview that we had just got done scrimming that had leaked it. I'm not gonna name names.
Okay, hold on.
Do it, Cryptic.
Hold on.
Leak it, Cryptic.
I
You want
told-
the beef, Cryptic.
I told them not to say it. I told them not to say it. But
Oh, I know who it is, dude.
that is a player no longer affiliated with the team Invictus.
Oh.
All I will say.
Oh, he's also
Oh.
But no, is that a leak? The guy
The
looks
Resident
like.
Genji one.
Guy
trick?
look. Oh, was
Yeah,
it
no.
Melts? Oh, I thought it was Falcon. Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
Ah,
no,
boom, boom, Melts. I don't care about Melts. Boom them.
Don't boom Falcon. Falcon's a gift.
Damn.
Allow me to introduce myself, because I'm about to go off on those. No, I'm kidding.
Get him. Just add him in general. Real quick.
He's
Not
he's
too
a,
much.
Spam at him
Hold
and
on.
drink. What he's
he's
gonna do?
a,
Ban
he's a
you?
Genji. He's a Genji one trick. He's not worth my time.
Damn, that's rude.
Like,
Yikes.
no,
the team wasn't worth the time then.
Yeah, Melts, I'm sorry, I was kind of a little
The
below.
truth hurts,
No,
Pyro.
that's
The
cool,
truth
dude.
hurts.
I forget
Wait,
which
what?
team we were playing, but
My
we had
bad,
a
Pyro. Vila, the truth
mega
hurts.
scuff
I'm
moment.
dude, bro.
Like more scuff than the asking for the reset. Like in my opinion, obviously everything's subjective.
The
but
most no. The most scuffed moment of the season was Bard throwing Vits's whole momentum.
Oh
Yo,
my
and then Shamanzi
God.
going into general chat
That's
having a
definitely
tantrum.
Then Shamanzi threw a little hissy fit because of
Okay,
it.
I'm just
But
gonna.
I mean, if you don't scrim for 2 weeks, that's on you though.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
was
don't think.
three,
Said someone
either way.
paid Bard off. And I was messing around. I was
Trying
messing
to say
around.
that somebody paid
And then
Bard
I
to
was
get
messing
that
around. I
route.
was like, I paid Bard off. And then
Yeah.
Shamanzi went, what, actually? I was like, no.
So I think I don't think that was the biggest strength scuff moment. I'm not gonna say it's not like exactly one moment in particular. It's one entity. I'm just gonna say it now. It's strength Twitter. It's been so
Oh.
scuffed. Like it's been on fire for like 2 weeks.
Remember when that one, like, featured match got held for, like, 2 weeks at the beginning of the season?
Oh,
What
yeah,
is
that's right.
I did that
That's right.
too. Or it was like a week later. It was recorded, and then it was recorded on Sunday, and then it was
Oh,
aired
yeah.
on Wednesday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
is that your match with One Last Ride?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
our only
that was
featured
rough.
match.
I remember I was looking like every day. I was like, "Where's the meat? I need it."
Because everyone's like, oh, it's the greatest game of the season so
Vibes.
far. Everyone needs to watch this game. Like, okay, great. Tell us when it's up. Like, all right, keep telling us when it's up. Just make sure you tell us when it's up. Nothing.
All
Yeah.
of the scuffness is
That
Meteor
was-
and Tough Luck both having 5 back-to-back buys.
That was
Yeah, no,
rough.
that was unfortunate. I think I've
Brutal.
accidentally, like, I wish, like, a lot of trankers that I know, like, good luck with on match day, and I did it for, like, 5 weeks in a row of, like, Pyro. Like, I'd keep messaging him good luck, and he's like, I don't play him this week, I'm on bye, again.
Yeah, I remember getting those messages. I would go into like practice, or I'd be out at like the store with my girlfriend, and I'd be like, some fucker's messaging me, hold on, and then it'd be like, Cryptic Force, have a good match. I'm like, you bitch. At first I thought you were being like facetious.
I do that, but instead of telling them good match, I just kind of message them,
I say,
like 5 minutes before matches start, I say, you throw. Don't throw your match. And then put it on.
It's like probing.
The P.
I did that to, like, MPC for, like, 10 weeks in a row.
Another contender for biggest
no.
scuff was our Renovadio defense first feature match against Otaku when they did a fucking sim strat 3 times.
I was on Otaku then.
I was on Renovadio for that. I only played 2 weeks out of the season. I coached the rest, but I need to. Now the season is over. I need to give like some clarity on both the second and third times. Like it was so fucking frustrating seeing afterwards because people were commenting like, "How did they not see it coming? Like, how do you not anticipate?" Like the second and third times, like we fucking saw it coming, and like we had a good counterplay like lined up for it. We were like, okay, like they're gonna do it again because it worked the first time, so they're gonna fucking do it again. We're gonna go back behind the bridge. We're gonna go downstairs. We're gonna rotate the shield, and then when they did it again, we just, for whatever reason, we just didn't do it.
You know,
And it was so fucking frustrating.
Our
It's like-
comms there, our comms were, before second round, our comms were like, okay, it's not gonna work again. They know we're gonna do it. Our coach is like, nah, people are dumb. Trust. Do it again. Do it again. I'm like,
Oh,
that worked.
all the time.
That's so funny.
and then third round, we're just like, do we just fucking do it again? They're like, yeah, I'll go see it coming. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, that was the most infuriating shit because like all 3 times when we had lost that point, I'm like, fuck, man, I know chat's gonna sit here and they're gonna be like, how they not see it coming? And it's like, we did 2 of the 3 times. Like, we just didn't follow up with it. We had the right counterplay dialed up. We just didn't do it for whatever reason.
No. Most scuffed play, let me tell you the story. So it was midway through the season. Prodigious was going through some changes. I was no longer on main tank. Terrible decision. But it was just bad. But it was my decision, so whatever. So we were on route we were on route 66, final point. It was like we were in overtime and we were defending. And I forget the team it was, but I was hiding behind some like junk as May, and I had the May ult ready to go. It was gonna hit the whole team. We were gonna be able to get the point, whatever. But the other team had a diva, and I made sure that the diva wasn't looking when I was doing it and had the DM like focus somewhere else. And then right when I toss it and she does the voice line, game pauses. And I was like, this is bullshit.
Oh,
and so the
my
diva just
God.
messages me, is like,
I saw
I'm gonna
that.
eat your ult, but I didn't see it when you cast it. I'm like, you bitch. And they pause it, they unpause it, and sure enough, they just like 270 flicked, ate it, and then just like won the point. And I was so salty. And ever since
Bro, I
then,
got
if game
tilted
ever
off the face of
pauses,
the
if I
earth.
didn't see
quick-
shit,
a
I
quick
didn't see it.
section.
I ain't doing it.
A
Fuck
quick
that.
section, a quick had a similar thing happen to us. We were playing Meteors. It was week 5, like right before we started Redemption arc. We were like, all right, we have like no ults. We just have Wizard. We're just gonna pop Wizard. We're gonna build as much ults off it as possible. All right, solid plan. Everything's gonna go fine. Our mate goes and throws Blizzard. Courage just goes one shots at May and starts the ult. And we were forced to drop a map out.
I don't know who was against, but for DDoS, I TP'd in, and I pressed Q, and the first time I say die, the game pauses, and no one was ready for it. No one was ready for my
That
ult.
was the first Pandas. That was the first
No
Pandas
one was
game.
ready for my ult. Like,
That was the
it would
first
have been
Careless
like
Pandas game.
3-4
It was a
kills,
6-man ult. No. It would have been like a 5 or 6 man.
and then like the game
And-
pauses, and then T-Quen leaves. I'm like, this is scuffed. And then they turn around, they kill me, and then Yeti messaged me after the game saying that pause was scuffed. I was like,
It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
it
no
was.
shit, dude.
I was like, yeah, no shit.
Bro, whenever we played Pandas, it was the most scuffed game ever. The first time we played them, when we got absolutely lit up by them, the only reason why we took Elios off of them is because they were playing with a hard Reaper bot.
Oh yeah,
Remember that meme? Remember that vine? Yeah, remember that meme?
Yeah, Bart
someone
was.
needed to sign
That's-
hard Reaper bot.
Yeah,
That's-
that was me. and
that's
Bart.
where the hard-
Welcome.
That was where the hard Reaper bot joke came off of.
And hey, I just
Yeah.
want to say, can you just call me by my name? Like, come on, man. Don't need to be rude to me.
Cameron.
Okay, Cameron.
Actually,
Okay.
I just
Okay,
remember
boomer.
another one of the biggest scufferys actually, and this isn't BM anymore since of what happened in the playoffs, but I think it was week 14, Vitamin C versus Jetpack Cats, map 1, Vitamin C with 5 players, take the map,
Oh,
5v6.
Yeah, the
Wait, what?
5v6.
Wait,
Yeah,
sorry.
VitC almost beat Jetpack Cats 5v6.
They did beat
No,
them,
they
but
did,
not
they
that
did.
much.
Oh, they did beat him 5v6. Yeah.
They took the cost point 2-0 on a 5v6.
Well, I don't think that matters anymore.
I was gonna say,
I
then now,
was about
now
to say,
it's
it
not
doesn't
BM.
matter anymore.
It's not
I mean,
BM
Pandas did
anymore.
almost beat DDoS on that map where they had hard Reaper bot.
We don't talk about that. We don't
talk about that though. That was,
We
God.
cut
That
that.
hurt.
Cut
The keyword's almost. Yeah, I mean, it's only a lie, but you can edit it out. It's fine.
Yeah, we also
that.
don't
No one heard that. We don't.
We also,
And then we brought him to a 7th map in the playoffs. That's all that matters.
I was about to say, then we took him to a map 7 in playoffs, and nobody
Then we
thought we were
kinda
gonna
got
do
rolled.
that.
yeah.
Oh,
also,
Rialto was a crapshoot. We
Shit
don't talk
show.
about Rialto.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead.
Oh yeah. We don't talk about how Oda 4-4 us to give us their first 4-0 of a season. We never talk about that.
Never.
Never happened.
Never.
Cryptic, were you on the roster?
I was.
Yeah, he
Makes
was
sense.
on there.
But I was on Arista that time. That's when we started.
Oh, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah, that makes sense. We just lost that.
Sleeping was our Arista player, like leading up, and then when Sigma came into meta, she was playing Sigma. I was originally on Arista, and that was a horrible call. My Arista is just trash. It's my worst tank. So if you ever see me on Arista, that's
Hey,
me.
it's better now. It's
Hey,
better
Have you
now.
seen your Reinhardt, Cryptic? That's probably
Okay,
worse.
okay, my ride is washed because if you run Ryan, honestly, right now you're just throwing the game.
Yeah, respectfully.
I don't know. Undead Battery are having a lot of
disagree.
success with it right now. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I agree.
I know. I
Terractin is
took
a-
Terractin Shattered
Okay,
on my
yeah.
board.
I'm gonna counter.
Yeah,
with
that's
this.
my fault, PDK.
I'm gonna counter with this. It's Harmony tier. The meta isn't as strong there. In Discord tier, I feel like you kind of have to run the meta. I'm
I
not.
I
beg
one
to
team who ran
differ.
Torb.
And
I
One
would beg to
Discord
differ.
team ran Torb. I remember watching a VOD back and some team ran Torb. I don't know
What
who.
team was it?
I don't
Was it
remember.
Penguins?
Because I'm not.
No, it was
think- I
in
think
Discord
it-
tier.
It was
We
commit.
run Tor before.
It was
we ran
commit?
Tor against
Okay,
Elite
commit.
Four.
I'm 95% sure it was commit.
I mean,
Commit
Invictus
was
I
ran
think
a
it
Torb
was
a couple
Shiro.
times.
I think it was Shiro on the Torb.
Oh, they-
yeah,
Commit
Shiro
could
was
probably run like Commit could probably run like 6 Moiras and still beat like half the teams. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Probably.
Hey, Moira is pretty overpowered
I
though.
think it
so-
says less about commit and more about the the half the other teams.
Yeah, no, like
True.
I'm
True.
almost positive that when Commit pulled out the Tor, they were just memeing at that point. Like they knew we were gonna win. Commit's honestly just very good.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Are they moving to Transcendent
Because
next
they're
season?
old GM. I know what they're
Uh,
doing, and I don't want to leak anything.
I
Oh,
see.
yeah, I don't
that's
wanna
fine.
leak stuff
Yeah,
right
if it's
now.
like sensitive stuff, then for sure let's not do
I
that.
don't know
also,
if it's sensitive, but like I don't.
mhm. On
Okay.
that note, weren't we supposed to be
Marth
talking about
leaked
like?
the plan to the Eclipse guys. That's all we gotta say.
Wait, he did?
That's all pretty
weren't
cryptic.
there.
More than the
Cryptic,
Eclipse
you weren't
guys.
there.
Okay,
More
yeah.
than the Eclipse
More
guys,
than the
yeah.
Eclipse guys.
Leave
What
that,
did I-
leave that to me later. Leave that to
More
me
than
What
later.
kind of
Eclipse guys?
insider
Okay.
podcast is
Yeah.
this where we talk about knowing stuff but don't talk about it?
What do
I'm
I
saying-
join?
Oh my god, Juke! Fuck,
We
you like
have,
the Kool-Aid
we have the
man.
juice, we just can't share the juice.
What did
That's
I
terrible.
join?
Oh
What kind of juice bar
yeah.
is this?
The
The
juice.
only thing I can say about Commit's next season's plan is that more
do
than
know.
one community. That's all I gotta say. That's
Hello?
all I can say about that.
I would probably tell you the most.
My big Morphin chat right now.
My big Marv.
No,
See Randy, can I leak this
Wait.
to Randy?
Wait, hold on. Is Marvin chat right now? Okay, no, I was about to ask if, alright, who wants to place bets? If Tough Luck upsets Commit, do you
I
think
will
Mark's gonna
literally-
go join?
I will
Hold on,
literally-
I am not done. Do you
I will. No,
Petey,
shut up, Cryptic.
Shut up!
Yo, you
Silence,
both talk too
Mark.
much.
Silence.
You both talk too
But-
much.
But anyway, I wonder if Tough Luck actually upsets Commit. I wonder if Mark's gonna join Tough Luck then.
Probably.
The meme continues.
Pull a fucking Kevin Durant.
But if
Cryptic.
Tough
No,
Luck
pull a Mark.
loses
30,
to
call the
Commit,
Mark.
then they pick up Specs. It's a pink
Ooh.
slip
That-
match.
Okay, that's just a downgrade.
So
That
do you
is
put
a
Marfin
downgrade.
support? Do you put Marfin support then?
That sounds like a yikes.
My big support.
Specs goes
My
to the
big
loser, Mark goes to the
support,
winner.
bro.
I can see that.
Okay.
Cryptic, you
Yeah?
do talk too much though. There's a reason why Rocket didn't invite you to the first one.
Damn.
Ooh, okay. I just fell asleep and forgot to set an alarm.
Alright, Cryptic, we muted you. Alright, cool. JuCo, what's
Cryptic,
the next
that's literally
question?
all you do.
What's a
All right,
question?
Juco.
I tried to ask my question, but everybody says no, it's too sensitive. I can't know about other teams. But I want to know what the heck everybody's joining for next season because of the 3 tiers thing. I don't know how many Discord tier or even Harmony at this point are eligible. Well, I guess everybody's kind of eligible for
Well,
open
let me
tiers.
give you
I can
So,
speak.
I
I
have
can
an
speak to a few.
insider. I have
Can
an
we go down
insider.
the list?
The biggest leaks so far about people joining teams are me and PDK right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright, yeah, no, alright, I'm gonna
can I-
say it.
can I leak-
It's
can I
already
leak
been
my
leaked.
thing?
Alright,
Oh,
I'm coming
no.
to news. I'm coming to
Just say it, Cryptic. Just say
so
it.
sorry,
Cryptic.
someone's already leaked it. So if Team Eclipse gets mad at me, whatever.
Uh,
PD Kid and J-Star will both be joining Eclipse next season.
Hey.
In what tier?
Hey.
Discord.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I say about Eclipse's other plans or?
I
Okay.
don't know what plans you're referring to.
Okay,
So
Rocket. I think Eclipse is making a Transcendence tier team.
Nice.
Yeah, they are. And then I think it's like I don't know what it's called, but all I
Right,
know
what's
is
it called?
Rocket's gonna be on it.
I think Boop
Hopefully.
is affiliating with Illusion.
I heard
think
that as
that's
well.
right. I
Layla
can-
told me
I
that
can-
one.
I
But there's
As
only
someone
one
who
member
coached-
of Boop left. Alayla's it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
hey, hold
was-
on. I can say that because so first off, Invictus, I'm not gonna GM
It's
another
deleting.
team in Discord tier against with Illusion being there, so they're combining with Illusion for whoever's staying from Invictus.
Yeah.
There might be a Transcendence tier from a few of the players. Not sure about that yet, but then Boop will be Illusion's.
Which
affiliate
Transcendence
team.
tier players? Because didn't you guys lose Smirk to Commit?
There was
wait, what?
Hold on,
Wait,
hold on.
what?
Yeah,
I-
well,
I-
I'm,
I
I'm
don't
close
think-
friends
I
with
don't-
Smirk because
dude.
we have Aram, who's his roommate, which is Bantudo, and
I don't
Aram's
think-
like Smirk got
I
picked
don't-
up by Commit. But
I don't think that's
So,
true.
okay,
I
no,
don't
so
think
there,
that's
there's
true.
there's something there with that. I don't
Yeah.
really know. I don't want to. There's that would involve me saying something else that I know what's
Oh, you
happening
mean
with them.
you mean
so
Commit being the Transcendence tier for Illusion? Or...
Not necessarily that. That kind of. I don't want to. Yeah.
So
Can
maybe
we just
commit
spill
is
the?
multiple
Can we just
tiers now.
spill the commit beans?
Yeah, we
Can we
need.
just
Yeah,
spill the
just do
commit
it.
beans?
Can we get a
No,
committer in
Commit
here?
is actually
I
on
love
there.
commit
Can we
beans.
get a committer in chat, please?
Commit ray trace.
Yeah.
Do we
Is
just
it moving
spill
to
the
Harmony
commit
tier?
beans?
What?
No.
Because
I
there's
mean,
no commit
like,
people here telling me I can't say things, so I'm saying
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah,
That's
keep
fair.
it under wraps. Keep it under wraps. That's not our stuff to leak.
What?
I'll leak it. I don't give a fuck.
That's the whole
Alright,
point
so
of this.
basically, commit is the Discord tier. Illusion, commit, and boop is what I heard, but I don't know if that's right.
I've not heard that. I heard.
I
I've
mean,
Boop can confirm or deny this, but like that's what I.
so since I'm not the one that said that, that's what I thought it was as well. But I'm not the one that said it, so you can't blame me if it's not true.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there
Mark
you go.
told.
You can blame me. I don't care.
Hey,
Mark said
keep
something.
it off. Let's not leak that. That's not our stuff. We kind of want to get hot water. With the
What hot water
My
did
big
you get in?
leak-
It's the
my big
internet.
leaks.
My
My
big-
big leak. Bro, Mark leaked everything to us.
Yeah,
Everybody
Mark-
should just leak everything. Like
The reason I don't know if it's a leak is that it wasn't even like a set thing for us yet. That's just kind of what we were planning on doing. But like it wasn't even like we didn't even know like the SRs yet. That was some of the thing I think a lot of people were waiting to figure out. Like we had an idea what the SRs were gonna end up being.
Yeah.
Which also I want to talk about how I thought the Discord max SR was a little higher than I was expecting it to be. I
what
was
is it again?
expecting
Like, what is it?
3800.
3800.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
3.4 average.
on Prodigious
Actually,
we can't even play in Discord anymore, which is a bummer.
It's actually a smaller range though, if you think about it, right? Like
It
this
is,
season
it's
was
50 smaller.
it was
Yeah.
2.8 to 3.65. Now it's
Correct.
yeah, it's 500.
Which I agree with raising up to 3. That was
And the average
Yeah.
is lower. The
Yeah, but
average
keep
is
in mind,
lower.
Discord teams can still like sign players who are below 3K.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
get rounded up
Yeah.
to 3.
Yeah,
Bro,
exactly.
Well, like you could sign a 1.8k player to a Transcendence tier team. It just has to be a 3401 average.
Yeah,
I mean, you
bro,
can sign someone above 3.8 too if it's specific to their role. That's the other thing that's pretty.
Yeah.
For what I had heard, a little bit of juice. I heard overtime was coming back.
Yeah, I can hang on. I can.
They
Okay,
are.
hang on. I'm with
People
overtime
are
right now.
Okay,
I
oh yeah,
was,
but
yeah. I was in Harmony last season. I started with overtime and it's as an assistant coach, and they had a lot of internal issues, I guess, with Smurfs and like a lot of roster problems. So they had to leave the community. And yeah, we are coming back. Billy Got hit me up
you
fairly
going
recently.
Discord?
Yes, it will be Discord. It's the same core of players with some new pieces. I'm coming back as assistant coach, and so
I know a few people that tried out didn't want to do it. But
yes, we're not confirmed yet to be in Discord because, as I said on the podcast, they still haven't like gone into what teams are still going to be there until after the postseason. I'm fairly certain. But yeah, we're
Shadow
going
Fang.
to be trying to get our foot in the door in Discord.
Shadow
Nice.
Fang is also joining you guys as an off tank,
Yeah,
right?
because he and I were both with Boop this
Yeah.
past season.
It's not like these are leaks because they're all on Overtime's Twitter. So
Here's
Yeah,
one thing about Transcendence here though, and I'm not sure if you guys want to get into this, but
I may be going to Transcendence.
there's a lot of discussion around like parity in Discord here this season with like commit
Yeah.
and then a few other teams like kind of running above the rest, I guess. But I think with Transcendence here, the issue is like if there's even one like 4.4 team that comes through, they're
Yeah,
just
they're
gonna
gonna dominate.
mollywop everybody.
Yeah, because if you listen to the podcast, Specs was saying, and I kind of agreed with it at first, but then after like thinking about it a little, he was saying like anybody that's above like 3.4, you should be shooting to go for the Transcendence tier option. But
Yeah.
then if like that's the case, you're definitely gonna have that parity there, where some teams are just gonna just have so much higher SR players.
Yeah, like if
I don't-
you're
I don't know if Discord tier is supposed to go to like maybe I don't want to say less competitive, but maybe less. I don't know, or less of a time commitment, like teams not necessarily scrimming 5 days a
I
week,
think
and
that's
that's
what it
supposed to be
is.
more. I think then the
it's open
Transcendence
tier
is
for
supposed to
like
be that, right?
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
which-
because
I think that
No,
I
you're
think
good.
the
Oh, no,
Transcendence
you're good.
tier is
Go
going to
ahead.
be more for people
like
that
from my
want to put in
perspective,
a lot of work, like into improving their game and want to scrim against these 4K players. I don't think if you're 3.4K, you should be scrimming against 4.2K though.
Exactly.
well, here's the
Yeah,
thing, right? Is,
That's not
like,
going to help you.
right now in Discord tier, like commit, Meteors, Eclipse, and Tough Luck all scrim like 3.8 to 4K most of the time, like 3,
Yeah.
3.8,
Yeah,
3.9,
yeah, that sounds
4K,
alright for Eclipse.
right? And there's a few teams that scrim like 3.4K.
Yeah, like
So-
Invictus never really scrimmed above 3.5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
so like
as far as-
I know
assuming,
like
assuming Transcendent tier, team average is 3401. I think like if you have a 4K team in commit, if you have a 4.2 team instead of commit, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I'm not sure how it's gonna pan out because like part of me thinks like something like 4.2, 4.3 teams just gonna come in and they're just gonna dominate.
Yeah, because I mean, like, because you were saying earlier, like a 4.4K team, that's basically like a T2 team. Like, if you're
Yeah,
talking
good,
4.4, that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's like a
Yeah,
T3
that's like top
level
OG.
team.
Yeah, that's like
top
a top OD like or like low T2 team that's just gonna come in here and gonna start like smacking everyone and like no one's gonna be able to stop them.
Yeah.
If you think commit is bad right now, it could just be like 10 times worse. And
Yeah, you guys need to. If you think commit's bad right now, it's not gonna get better.
Yeah.
For you season.
so
They're definitely gonna need the monitoring to be on another level going into that, because I know we had situations this season to where we had players like Melt and like Ruru who were in like Masters playing in Harmony.
Well,
I
they can't
know-
be
Yeah.
smurfed in Transcendence tier. That's not how that works. Like, there's no smurfing in Transcendence tier.
Oh, I
You
know that,
average
but I mean,
above something. Like,
oh yeah, for sure, no, for sure. But I mean, like I was saying, like the parity, like it's they're definitely gonna have to try to like balance it in some way to where, like you guys are saying, there's not like just some basically tier 2 or tier 3 level team that comes around and just goes, you know, completely undefeated without even dropping a map or something.
yeah,
So
like, it's
that
very
was why a lot of people didn't know what was happening with Commit. Is that Commit was saying that early on. They don't want to play against 8K teams. Honestly, they want to like really step it up. That's what they were saying, and like they don't want to be playing against teams that have 3.6K players on most of their positions. So I think honestly, like the tier could go in two different ways. You can go in a way that you're gonna start getting like really high tier 4K teams, or you can. Or hopefully, what it seems like is happening is that a lot of people that are like 3.6, 3.8 from Discord tier are just going to try to shift to other teams then, and then like kind of morph up into the Transcendence tier, which should probably be a lot more competitive if it stays around that like SR
Agreed.
range.
I think the only two teams that should go to Transcendence tier are Commit Meteors. I think Eclipse should stay.
But like four of the
I
other
think
teams are
it's-
literally unable to do Discord.
I don't know.
Like
I think-
our team
I think
literally
people should
can't do
move
it.
up.
We have
I
to
think
move up.
people should move up.
Yeah,
I think like certain people, but not a full team. Like I think the only full teams that should move up is Commit Meteors and Brams.
I
Like
think
the
I
others
may
should
move up.
stay.
I
Well,
think
I
I
mean,
don't-
but-
I
not
can
all of
tell
them.
you this from the inside. Eclipse, there's only about 2 or 3 players that are moving up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I
Yeah,
think like
yeah,
two
I
or
know.
three can
Wait,
move up,
who-
but not all of them.
I know I'm debating it. I know one is 100%.
Rocket.
Yeah,
Rocket's
Rocket.
100% moving.
Who's the other one? Because it's I
And then
know.
you and Bray are
Oh,
like,
Mike, you and Bray are on the edge, Cryptic.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just on the edge. I want to see like how much I can climb. Like if I like around like 3.6, 3.7, I'm gonna move up. If I stay like relatively like low masters or high diamond, I'm just gonna stay in Discord till I get better.
Here's the thing, though, right? It's like, especially the shorter season too. If it's like, because I mean, right now it's what 50 or it's even
15 weeks.
15 regular
weeks,
seasons,
not
playoffs.
including playoffs.
So 19 weeks total with some
Oh,
breaks.
wait,
too. 20 weeks total. Okay.
Wait, we're moving up to
Roughly.
20.
No,
No,
it's
no, no,
like-
No,
Let's-
right now.
Okay, so there's
Oh, yeah.
50 regular seasons. There's 4 playoff games, and then there's also a week in between playoff games this week
yeah.
for Thanksgiving, right? So 20 weeks total for the league, right? In that time,
Community.
sure, right? But think like this, right? Meteors, like most teams, like the top climbers, I guess, have climbed between like 800, 1200 SR in that time, right? Like I know for me personally, I climbed about 800 SR since I locked in for Meteors, which was in week 7.
Yeah, I went up 1,000, and that was and I went 1,400 the day before. Like I was 2K the day before lock-in, and peaked 3.4.
Yeah, that happens
Yeah.
a lot in
Y'all need
season
to
I was
two,
about to
so-
say,
Yeah, I'm up. If you count for my peak, like I'm up like 700 SR, like almost 800 SR from
Yeah.
when I
Well,
locked.
that's the point of the community, though.
Yeah,
That's
like the
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I locked like 2650 and now I'm like 34.
But the thing is, too, is like the reason that I was able to climb so fast is because the team that I joined was scrimming at a much higher level than I was, and so I could like I was able to improve much quicker because like I was playing in 3.6, 3.7 scrims. So when I go to play 3.1 comp games, it's just way easier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I will give you. I will say, like, you've been a great player, like, throughout this entire season. Like, when I talk about you go, I think it's been the biggest mistake Taco has made this entire season, besides folding.
Besides not.
I can tell you this though, from even in like the Harmony tier, I know DDoS, like we all locked in at about 2-7, and by the end of the season, we were scrimming like mid diamond teams, and
Yeah,
we were
but like if you
really
look,
winning
if you look
them.
at Vitamin T, me and Sushi queued in at gold.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
Yeah,
So
this
to
is like
bring it
that
back-
was season 2. That was the big thing with season 2 is that like we 80 people on our team. I think like so I was season 2 Illusion, and I think we were the only team that didn't end up having anybody above diamond at the end, and then like all of us climbed the diamond in the off season basically. But like even then, that was the big issue then with the SR range is that you had gold players balancing out diamond people, and then some people hitting masters. Like that happened with a few
Yeah.
players.
Season 2 had some rough
Jetpack
balance
cats.
issues.
Yeah.
I know. I know. I was like,
how about
when I was coaching for a group, I did like a
what's his name?
scouting game where I was like scouting
Mallard hit GM.
Yeah.
Wait, when did Mallard hit
I
GM?
was on an
On
off roll,
support,
to be
I
fair.
think.
Oh,
Mallard is the only reason why Peños are still in it right now. In all honesty.
Because
Johnny
Robot.
Johnny Robot question mark?
None.
Johnny Robot's
Here-
solid.
The
Jonathan
reason why I'm
Roboto?
saying that is because Mallard has the game sense and awareness of a GM player.
Yeah, I
It,
honestly agree
it
with that.
translates.
And I played a game with him.
But only
like,
reason's kind of polar. Like there's
Yeah.
no way in a 6-person game that
Mm,
you
I-
can
I
be
do
the only
agree with
reason
that.
your team's doing
I've
well.
I've
That's just
casted
not true.
Pinos. Yeah, I've casted Pinos 3 times, and I cast him again next week. It's definitely not Mallard. I think if Mallard's making a lot of calls, it's definitely helping out.
Mallard's
Booth.
carrying, I'll agree that,
Yeah.
but it's not.
But here's the
Booth-
thing.
Mallard.
When we
Played
casted the
yesterday.
Peños
That's
game,
That's right. That's right. We did.
when we
better
casted the
than Spider-Man.
Peños game together, when they started to counter Mallard, that team started to buckle.
Oh, in those first couple of maps.
Yeah.
I think they were really they were honestly really worried about they were just kind of like playing the meta is what I felt like, and then they kind of switched to their own style a little bit,
That's how
and that's what really made them pop off is you got to play hit scan.
that's
here's
how
the thing, though.
that's how DDoS beat them. We just shut down Mallard. Once we shut down Mallard, there wasn't really much they could do.
yeah,
Here's
no,
the
like,
thing though, right? It's like think about it like this, right? So let's assume that shutting down Mallard is what beats Holy Jalapenos.
It's
Doesn't
not.
necessarily mean that it carries them though, right? Like let's say commit.
Yeah.
Okay. People theorize that if you shut down Shiro, commit falls apart.
That's
Well, everyone thinks that Andy and Marv are number 1 tanks in the tier. Think that the supports are tops in their tier. Think that Axion's a good player. Like, are they all bad because they get carried by Shiro, or is the
No.
team used to playing in a style where he doesn't get punished? So when he does, then their whole system crumbles. It's not as if
Yeah.
it's like a hard carry. It's just that every team has an initiator, right? Whether it's a DPS or a tank or somebody that tries to
or support.
finds the opportunities to start fights, right?
Yeah,
Like, if the way they start fights is through Mallard finding initiation, through a pick or even just a good angle to exploit, things like that, then if he gets shut out, then the team doesn't have any way to initiate and it crumbles. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's carrying. It just means that he's a focal point of the way that the team plays.
And it's why I don't
Right,
like
which he is.
It's why I don't like the term carry in this kind of aspect. I've always been somebody of the mind you win and lose as a team, especially in this kind of environment, regardless whether you're in Overwatch League level or you're here in Gold, Plat, Diamond, Masters, whatever. Just the phrase carrying implies that everybody else is bad and not pulling their weight.
Well,
And
if you're
it's-
Overwatch,
yeah, I don't
you
know about
are
that.
Well,
carrying.
here's the
okay,
thing.
Vela, have you not watched an Eclipse game? Like, Jesus Christ,
Well-
Rocky carried us
Well-
for
We're definitely losing
No, I
the
disagree.
fact that carry
Yeah, no, we're
isn't
all good.
always
Yeah.
a defining part of the team as that's the win con. Coming from a MOBA background, playing a lot of League, just because you're a carry, especially AD carry, which is the term being in League for anybody who doesn't know,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you're the win con. It just means that the team fight potential of your team is completely centered around the potential of the AD carry. And it's the same thing with Overwatch. Watching the VODs back of Commit being a great example, but you guys on Meteor is another one for Pyro. When you guys enable J-Vice, you guys pop off. And then if you got let's say that's your game plan for that game, and if you get a roadblock for that, then yeah, you're gonna suffer a bit. But that's the whole point of adaptive games like Overwatch is okay, this plan of attack's not working because we're putting a lot of resources into this character, they're not getting a lot of output. And then you swap the comp on its head. You're all right, we're gonna enable the Orisa now because she's gonna have the pull combos that's gonna put her in a position to get bongo every other fight. That's gonna build everybody else's ults really easy, and our ult economy is gonna be the win con. So I don't think carry should be thought of as a bad term. Every team should have a carry because that gives your comp and playstyle super linear direction that's easy to follow in the midst of a difficult team fight. But the teams that come out and bubble to the top are the teams that when that style gets stifled, they have a backup plan or are easily able to adapt a new plan on the fly. So
That's why we.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
That's where DDoS kind of faltered though in the Harmony tier because we pumped a lot of stuff into PDK, and when teams started to counter PDK, aka pandas, that's when we kind of had to readapt, and that's when we started putting a lot of resources into our other DPS player, probably one of the more underrated players in Harmony, Buff Llama. But
Name and a half right there.
Buff
Yeah,
Llama,
it's
dude.
a crack name.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
His profile picture is llama on the top and a buff six-pack on the bottom.
Yeah, you need to look at this dude's profile picture. It's hilarious. But once we start, like, we had Buff play McCree because literally all pandas were doing were playing the Pharah and Bastion. And once we started countering Seaman on the Pharah, it became so much easier to enable PDK to do his thing on Reaper, or even Junkrat, in all honesty.
I hate
Because-
Scan C-Man.
Pete,
We don't
You
need the
did.
McCree.
Jay Silly.
We don't need the McCree.
Yeah, but all the note of carries, I know I made a comment about like saying Rocket like kind of like dragged your team for weeks. No, everyone on his team is doing on the clips is good. Like you just have to look back to our game versus one last ride this last Sunday. Like everyone played out of their minds that game. Like we all played super well. Everyone did their jobs when we needed to. Everyone had their moment. I had my moment, which I was surprised by. I think everyone played well.
2v6.
When was that? Was that Ilya? Was
That was
that like?
That was on Volskaya. You ulted a 2v6. and
Okay,
you
okay,
got
I want to
absolutely
explain that.
destroyed.
I want to explain that. So I was like in conflict,
Oh,
like
God.
at that point we were down to like, okay, do we want to commit to this? I'm like, okay, do we want to risk this? Do we want to commit to this? And like I hear Rocket, I'm like, yes, just go for it. I'm like, okay, screw it. And then we lost two instantly. I went for it. I'm like, oh crap, this is not gonna end well. But we still won the map.
On the
So-
note of carries, though, like I think it's an interesting conversation to have in the way that like, I think as far as what I would think of as a carry in Overwatch is a player that's like head and shoulders better than the rest of their team. And I know that sounds like kind of a shitty thing to say, but in my
It's
mind,
true.
there's basically two players that I could define as a carry on any team this season in Discord,
Let's hear
and
it.
that was Kuna after Marth left Instalock, and that was DC in midseason Ren of Audio. In my mind, those are the only two people that were head and shoulders above the rest of their team.
So good. Like he, yeah, that's a good pick. For
Yeah,
sure.
I was
like
on the
arguably more than
but
Kuna,
DC was insane.
because like
It's
Kuna,
also really
Like you can watch,
very
you can watch a
similar.
commit Reno game where DT's getting like 3 or 4 a fight.
yeah.
I mean, like that's.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you
to
really
be
pop off
honest-
midseason Ren of Audio, and
I don't think there's any carries in Harmony tier either.
Hang on, like to be honest, like the only two,
I
like,
think
the only times I played,
times for Illusion.
like I only played two games with Reno, and like the times when DC subbed in, I just had like this wash of relief come over me. Like it's not because I didn't think our other DPS players were good. That's ridiculous. But it was just like even I knew, even after such a short amount of time, that like DC was a really good player, and like when I saw him being subbed back in, I was just like, yes, fuck, I got him back.
Well, I think in Double Shield too, it was really hard to stand out as a carry kind of because like your Reaper at Doomfist could do something really crazy and go into the backline. But if you didn't bait, if the other DPS like didn't bait out the Orisa's Fortify, like it didn't matter. Or if you didn't, your other Orisa on your team didn't have the pull, like you could ult as good as you wanted to as the Reaper. It
Yeah.
just
Or
you needed
even-
to
Yeah,
combo
and I'll
player.
say that. I'll say the same thing with tanks this meta because like I don't think I'm a bad thing. I think I've been really good. I've climbed to 3.7 on him. It's just like there's so little I can do because like if I have beat, like my ult's kind of just useless. If Lucio's farming beat faster than me, which can happen very easily, it's kind of like, well, I got him up in the air. That's
Well,
kinda like all I can-
it seems useless in the fact of you solo wiping the team, but then that sets it up for your Reaper to go
Yeah.
in with all these
Yeah.
half HP
Yeah.
targets. So there's
Well,
no
yeah.
way to counter him then too, or their Doom ult too.
Yeah,
So
like,
that's the thing. That's not as much like a solo carry kind of double shield meta, which is probably going away here anyway. Thank God.
I don't know. I've heard pro players say
Orisa
everything's
Ryan.
so good.
I think even more than
Can I
that
get
though,
Zen back, please, bro?
like it's not even just that double shield's not a solo carry meta, but more so like the difference in skill between like a good Doomfist and a great Doomfist is kind of small compared. Like,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
can put that on every single other person, right? Like
Yeah,
Orisa,
you're
Sig.
pulling them all together. You're
Like,
just throwing in a punch.
I think like Doom's probably the highest, like I guess, skill difference
see.
on anybody in that comp. But like you take Moira, Lucio, Orisa, it's less about how individuals play and more about how the team plays around each other, right? Like,
yeah, I agree
can your
with that.
Doom punch the Sigma when your Reaper ult so that way it doesn't get eaten? That enables a 4K rather than having him get killed by the
Yeah.
enemy Doom punch, right? It's
Exactly.
like it's more about the synergistic plays you make as a team and the way you communicate and organize, rather
Yeah.
than what plays your individuals can make. That's why I think you see like teams that were enabled by hard carries start to like not
I think
be
Fusion's a
as
great
good, I
example.
guess. Like if
Yeah,
you
no,
see
more
if
than
you
fair.
see Reno in a Genji dive meta, I'm sure they look a lot better comparatively.
You see
than in a
Invictus and a
double
Genji
shield.
Yeah,
dive.
you know, you're seeing Invictus like probably like
Easy,
top
Yeah, but
five.
that's what
All we
Sora
did was
meant
play
to-
dive. They
I,
no, let's
I
make Reaper
don't
good.
don't
Oh.
put everything in perspective of every Genji dive meta makes certain team better because every team has a Genji one trick that's gonna kill every other Genji one trick. So that's such a bad
Yeah.
such a bad
we
example.
didn't on boot.
Who's the Genji
We
one?
did not have a
for,
Genji player all season.
Eclipse? Mike
You
might
didn't
even be
need
on
it.
Shoni.
You didn't need it, so that's
It's-
fine.
But I think
Yeah,
that
but
is
it
I was
still
gonna say
would've been
we got shown. They got Shoney. So
What's
Yeah.
the next question? I feel like we're spending this carry
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Honestly,
said
like
you always
the last question that because I only wanted to talk about season 4 like tiers, which we talked about, and then I guess just like what do you guys think is gonna happen next week in the meta? Because I'm assuming that's when the big switch is happening.
Jetpack Cast versus
Hopefully
Legion
Jeff
is
knows that
on
our
the
like playoffs are going on, so he like delays it a
Exactly.
little bit. But
Yeah, I hate for, like dropping.
No, the
I'll send him a
the
text.
update's coming out for the Winter Wonderland, so.
oh
yeah, they're gonna drop it at the same time with Winter Wonderland. I think.
If I'm being
Yeah,
honest-
I think that comes out like I think it comes out right after Thanksgiving, like this next Thursday.
Okay.
No, this
I don't-
Thursday.
well,
the next
Tuesday.
one.
They do updates on Tuesdays.
Oh, all I
No,
want
they
to say.
changed it to Thursdays.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, whatever.
All I want to say is. Oh yeah, I lost the trade of farm special. Never mind. Keep going.
If I'm being honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see people continue to play Double Shield Reaper Doom because that's what they've been playing for 2.5 months. So trying to adjust in like 3 days is going to be tough.
Like
I think-
forsake
I
the
think-
Doom for May, maybe. That's like the only switch I can
Like
see.
yeah, like May Hanzo could be good too, but
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking May Hanzo, Big Lucio, but
I don't know about Big
Uh,
Lucio. I think
Like,
you see
like- The
My
team-
Coalescence through shields is still really powerful.
but Rally is such a good.
Yeah, no, I don't think Brick
Yeah.
will be run. I don't think Brick will be run. Yeah, I
As
think
long
you
as
got a
there's
good
2
bomb.
shields, you got Moira.
If you want
I
a genuine
think-
prediction though, like I think it's gonna be on defense. I think it's gonna be Rissa Hog. I think it's gonna be May Hanzo, and on defense it's gonna be
On
Bat
the back.
Zen. Because the thing is, Zen provides better shield break, and then when you're playing defense, you get the shield advantage where yours already down, and you have the cooldown up. Whereas when the attackers come in, they have to place their shield down. They don't have the cooldown available, so you have like double their shields essentially.
Yeah,
Right.
that ammo to protect Zen getting dove too is really nice. That kind of
Yeah.
gets.
This is something that I brought up. Something that I brought up in the to the Eclipse guys was how Reese is gonna change because now with her being not having
A
as
god.
much shield,
She's just a
You-
god now.
cryptic, not your time, buddy. You had your time.
He is a magical talking pillow, alright?
Well, here's another thing, too, right? That kind of
But
brings me.
w-
Oh, sorry, go
with
ahead.
Orisa though, like you're gonna change how you have to engage though. I know JuCo, you can understand this because now it's like you pop your shield, save fortify for like for bad situations. Now it's gonna be the other way around.
Yeah, it's entirely.
Like you're gonna
flipped.
want to engage with fortify to try to get some early damage in because now you're just a freaking beast. And then use your shield as your escape method because it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Valuable. That's it. Because it's
Yeah.
so valuable now.
No, yeah,
especially on
as
PC
someone
cooldown.
who, I mean, like I play Orisa, I just don't play double shield, but
Prodigious.
yeah, we just don't
Yeah.
do that. That's just for the birds. So as someone who like all of my Orisa play comes around to like me playing Orisa that way kind of anyway, and I use my shields as escape options by like shooting them up in the air because like I just spent like 2 weeks in like practice just like shooting shields up in the air to like see how they fall and everything like that, so you can because the cooldowns were fucking me because they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I definitely think the good Orisas are just going to be the ones that are thinking like 4 turns ahead of the game because right now Orisa you can kind of like zone out as long as you get the cooldown management going and know not to pop your 4
Yeah.
or 5 before the team fights actually started. It's just kind of it's a point and click adventure, so like whatever. But it's going to be a lot more aggressive than it already is. Like, not saying that this playstyle is passive. Anybody who thinks right now that double shield is a passive playstyle, you don't know how to like read games, and you're probably inting for your team. So
Probably in
Yeah,
Harmony.
I agree.
yeah,
You're
so
probably
like
in Harmony.
it's just harder to see when engagements break open than it was with goats. Like goats, it's like the Rhine shield breaks, go in. But like now, it's like genuinely like memorizing cooldowns and seeing anything that's happening off to the side. They're like, okay, the Reaper used Wraith, we literally win now. So like that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And I don't know if it's gonna be Sigma Orisa as much as it was. I definitely think Orisa is gonna be played more as like an off tank now because she has that
Orisa's still
super
meta.
high burst potential and also can get anybody out of jail free, like freer than like Diva could back when she was like
She's still
separate meta.
meta.
So like
Yeah.
Sig would be definitely like her most common like pair, but the way that Roadhog's looking in this like double shield like meta, if they get nerfed like the way they do, Hog's gonna have a lot of great answers to a lot of the meta comps. So I don't see him like getting worse at all, which is
Yeah.
gonna be interesting because we have a lot of
Some-
good Hog players in the community. So I don't know, but I definitely think Winston, Diva, Hammond are still gonna be not played. Ryan's gonna look really bad in this meta, which is gonna suck because he has the shield health is really important against this amount of damage, and I don't know what to say about Sorry.
Sigma's
Something
probably on.
that-
It's probably
Other
gonna be
tanks.
Orisa on.
Yeah, Rissa,
Something
like
that
Hog can force.
The rhyme
Mic
is
on.
not bad.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it just doesn't
Depends.
it doesn't yield the
Map-
amount of
map
rewards that you're
dependent.
gonna need to see.
You
I
lack
do
a lot of
agree with
utility
that. You do lack a lot of utility, yes, because you're essentially playing two main tanks.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's still a
Feels not
possibility.
strong.
Its peak potential's way
No.
higher than any other gen combo though.
Here's one thing too, though, that people aren't really considering, and at least not that I've seen, is that if we're playing in a meta with less shields and more aggressiveness, I think Ana with the anti-nade being like the top 3 ability in the game is going to be
Another one
really
on that.
broken on attack. Like Holt nades is really strong.
Oh,
It's
also,
underutilized.
So you're saying Meteors are scrubbing with Ana? Is that what you're
I'm
getting
not
at?
saying anything.
That's kind of what I was insinuating from that. Like, it kind of sounds like you're saying that Meteors are running Ana. I'm just gonna keep writing notes. If you want to just leak
Go
what you're
ahead.
running against scrims, if you want to leak what you're running against scrims, I'll be fine. I'll just keep my notes.
I'll leak what we're running in scrims right now.
Okay, yeah.
Let's Shield Reaper Doom because we don't scrim PTR yet.
Okay.
A big comp that I've been scrimming a lot of lately, just for like practice. We're not trying to like make this comp like our go-to, but it's been really fun. When we played it against Alta 4, was Ball, Hog, Pharah, Mercy, Reaper, and Ana. And it kind of like the reason, like the exigence of it is back when Shanghai made their stage 3 run, they kind of ran a similar comp. Obviously, Rollag wasn't enabled, so they had the Hog player playing Doomfist and Brig, as well as Hog. But playing spread on certain maps like Junkertown, like like all these big open maps that aren't like Kings Row with like hyper small corridors and everything, are gonna end up like outperforming some of like the small niche like in your face comps, like the new goats of Double Shield. So I think the amount of return you're gonna get from Double Shield is gonna go down against comps like that, but then go drastically up against trying to beat bunk like other brawl comps. So there's just gonna be no reason to run like Ryan's Zarya, but then you're gonna find players that have been like practicing off meta, like characters like Hammond, maybe even like Winston, being able to beat teams they shouldn't on maps that are enabled by that kind of playstyle. But at the end of the day, most maps are like hyper linear small corridors, so it's not enough to be just good at that. It's just, I guess teams will have options on maps, but not options in what's meta. So
Yeah, so I think like going off what Pyro said about like the bat zone defense, like the shield break and having to double the shields,
Alright, I actually have to go.
and then a risk up. Cool,
Okay.
cryptic. All right.
Bye-bye.
So,
Have a good one, everyone.
Cryptic.
Happy
And then,
Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thanksgiving, man.
Thanksgiving, man.
Yep.
And then for like I feel like an attack, you can see the Orisa Hog and the May Ana for like the pull wall.
yeah, Ana Hogs is such a potent
That again with
combo,
the back and
and
the whole
especially
way.
with
Like
your
I feel like you can definitely easily see that.
Yeah.
That is so much damage. A nanoed hog. Not even using his ult, that's a lot of damage output.
Yeah, shield's
Nano
being down too.
Orisa's, like actually
Oh,
really
Nano
good, too.
Orisa is also really good too, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
having
I'll
the
just
shields
fall down,
broken,
something
having
like
the shields broken a little bit lets Zen be a little better too. Then, because then Discord can stay up for longer and
Yeah.
pumping some more damage too.
Ana Bap, May Hanzo, Orisa Hog.
The problem with Zen trying to come back is if Ana comes back, that like steps on his toes.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Bap Zen will probably be the only time. You don't think you can go on?
Bap
think
Zen,
Ana
Bap
Bap
Zen's still
also
looking
kind of
good. It never
counters
stopped
Zen
looking
though
good.
too.
I
So-
think it's gonna be Ana Bap on attack and
Maybe
Bap
Ana
Zen
Zen
on defense.
Defense, maybe.
Bap Zen
But
Bap
the thing
Zen.
Especially if you have like a
Defense
high
is
ground, like on Rialto, or not Rialto, on Havana first point, that could be really good there.
It depends on your DPS though, because if you run like a hit scan like Ashe or maybe like a Hanzo that's able to hit their shots a lot, you might just want to go Mercy and just pocket them and get the Mercy ult pretty much on cooldown like the way we have Cole now, because Mercy's ult on cooldown and a big rushdown team like Orisa Hog is like barriers uptime are gonna go to 0 and they're just gonna run
Yeah.
over you, especially if
Well,
you have
usually
like
fair.
yeah, especially if Ana's on the other team, because then the Mercy can just focus the Ana and like then she becomes superfluous because there's nothing the Ana can really do.
I mean, the thing with Mercy though is like all of her value comes from res, right? Like if you nothing that you damage boost will do more damage than Zen, and in no way is Valk ever a better ult than Transcendence.
Right, but
Yeah,
you can see more
Discord-
ult, which is the
Discord
point I'm
is-
trying to make. Like, if you
no,
do
like-
Ashe and, like, you shoot Dynamite with the Mercy damage boost, you're gonna get more ult out of it than you would with the Discord, because it's only gonna go into one person.
Yeah, but that's
And then
one
they
dynamite
bomb.
compared to 6 people shooting one discorded target. Though everybody gets out charged instead of one
Well,
person being out charged.
I don't think there's gonna be a situation where 6 people are gonna
Alright,
be able
well,
to
do you,
shoot
do you
at
want
the
a
same
back?
person.
Well, that's a coordinated team versus a not coordinated team.
I'm just
But-
saying, with
the
this
only-
current, like, the meta that's gonna come out, it's just gonna be almost impossible. Because there's no
The
reason to
only
play together in this
problem-
new meta, because shields are just not gonna work. Like, it's gonna be
only-
a lot of pincer plays, I think.
Well, if people are saying Moira and Lucy are gonna keep coming back, because like if Moira and Lucio could still be a thing, then like people are gonna
Well,
want
then,
to stay
yeah, there you go.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise Moira's kind of
And
point.
But in this,
like
yeah, the
that,
Babs Zen example, there's no
Discord is just
way.
gonna be but Discord is just gonna be so much better separately rather than together, because like if they're playing together, you're obviously gonna want like that burst like AoE damage. But if you're playing Discord, you're gonna all and they're all separate. You can all shoot that same target. Like
Widowmaker looking
If
kind of
you're-
nuts too.
yeah,
Hopefully.
Yeah.
or like
So-
Hanzo shooting a Discorded target, that's like basically going like immediately dead. Like
I do want to point out though that if we're talking about running a Zen on defense against an Ana on attack, one anti-nade can completely destroy a Transcendence.
I mean, that's why you run Ana, and
That's
that's
why,
in this
yeah.
situation.
and then
Right.
that would be like Diva coming back for nades, and it's like one should like back and forth about that because like Diva on defense for nades instead of Hog. Like everyone would go back to a lot of the stage 4 Owl.
Yeah, yeah, but like that's something you got to keep in mind though with the Zen too.
That's what it was in
Because-
Goats though too. If someone was running like a Zen, you'd put an Ana in and just get the anti-nades in, especially on the grabs. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing then.
Well, that's why Diva's there. That's why I think
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot like stage 4 Owl, where the Hog was run with the Zen, and if the other team was an Ana, you switch to a Diva, and it's like a Rissa Hog or Rissa Diva.
In
That
Stage
is
3,
how-
they did the same thing with the Ana. They were the
Yeah.
Zens kept getting countered, so they switched over to Mercy because when everything's anti, like it still she still has a way to pocket like a hero
No, she
with
says damage boost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
still
think-
definitely some value
Discord.
there.
So
I think this meta was completely surrounded around like the most burst healing and the most burst damage possible. Whereas I think we're gonna return
sustaining
to a
on
meta where
tank. Yeah.
yeah, I think we're gonna return to a meta where utility is valued. Like I think instead of Moira, you're gonna see an Ana instead of
Lucio's still gonna have a spot, so I wouldn't
Instead
say
of Doom-
instead of him.
Lucio's always
Yeah.
yeah. a spot, man.
well,
Lucio's
instead of-
always going to.
maybe if you don't run a Lucio, maybe you have a Zen or Ana instead. Like maybe you run Bap on a Bap Zen
I think
instead of a
Bab is gonna
Lucio.
take a spot more so than like Zen.
But would you give up the speed boost for the Discord though?
It depends how you're playing, right?
Map.
Like if you're
Depends on the
playing
map
like a
we-
slow, you're playing like a slow poke based comp on defense, like basically.
Then yeah,
your
I
field
would.
advantage,
I'd
then yeah.
swap. I'd swap. But I mean,
Bap
If you
Zen
run an
does
Orisa, you
so
need a
much
Lucio
damage.
in this new comp because her ways of getting out are just got 10 times harder. So if you give her
That
that
is
speed
true.
boost, then she's gonna
You-
get out for free and keep the pressure on when there's poke phase. It's just there just seems to be like a tank healer combo. Like if you run this kind of tank line, you gotta have this heal line. If you just, like,
Lucio on attack is just so good because of the speed.
Right.
Like speed is like
Yeah.
the best.
So
Same.
versatility.
It's the biggest reason why you run Lucio, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Same thing with Mercy, right? Like Mercy's good for res, Lucio's good for speed. That's why it's been meta for basically almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
nothing
Mercy
is faster than
survivability.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a-
Mercy has
it's a-
such high survivability.
Yeah, it's a thing I think a lot of support players don't understand as much, is that like for a lot of the supports, I think Moira is maybe the only exception. You don't really pick them for their healing, it's because of a utility attached to them. But I think it's kind of what we're saying, you know. With Mercy, it's damage boost and resurrect. With Lucio, you have amp it up and sound barrier, etc. So yeah, I think like what Pyro was saying, it's really going to come down to that ability and that utility in the situation that you're in and like in the map you're on.
In
I
Goat,
th- I
Zen
just-
was picked for his healing because having ult on cooldown
No,
pretty
it was
much
for the
is a
Discord.
good counter to
Discord's
It was
Zarya.
for
Discord.
Discord and
Well, because the
Which
Discords weren't
again-
going through because of the Rhine
No,
Brig.
uh,
That's the
Well,
only
Discord
reason I say that.
Discord could pull out the Zarya bubble too. That was another big thing.
And
Keeping
Yeah.
it out there, the other team's Zarya.
It was,
Well,
it was
once
not
the
picked for the
Reinhardt-
heals. It
Yeah.
was for the ult in the Discord.
And the thing with utility-based metas too is like it's
Damage.
less. It's the same thing as
Yeah.
ever since Dive ended. Basically, it's like it's less about skill and more about smarts. Like if you
Yeah.
don't use your cooldowns well and don't use your utility well, and then every team uses theirs better, then utility-driven meta is going to be down to who plays smarter, not who plays better necessarily, like, mechanically.
Yeah,
So you get the big brain team and then they win.
basically. All your Doomfist, the other Doomfist had like free reign on you then if you just used your fortified too. Or if you weren't
Yeah.
saving your poles, your DPS couldn't get any damage out really at all.
Exactly.
Exactly.
If you don't turn around for Reaper, he's gonna kill your whole fucking team.
What?
Exactly.
Last ride.
I was just about to say, someone passed that message along to one last ride.
And the Doom is looking even weaker now because of like if people start trying to run Ryan or Rissa, then Ryan's just gonna stand in front of the Doom anytime he's charging punch. He's gonna go half an inch. Like it's not.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
about to say steadfast is a thing plus fortify equals no Doomfist.
That's the
So
thing is Doom was always really good against Reinhardt until like just recently when the change came through, and then it's getting buffed as well. But playing Doom in Ryan right now on live is already fucking annoying because your CC does dick all to him.
Yeah,
It's
and you
like
have the
also-
reduced
Also, like
charge.
that's why the Halt hook is good because like the Halt it doesn't really get affected by steadfast. It goes to where the halt is, and the hook just pulls you in. It's not like a steadfast
Well, here's
change.
the thing, Ryan
Wait,
Shield kind of blocks it. That's why you gotta pull on. Like if you're playing versus a hog into a Ryan, like, you can't pull where the Reinhardt is because he blocks the hook. You gotta, you gotta play for shield break or pull somebody that's on an off angle. For an
There's
easier
a
hook.
good angle that I was watching a couple of videos on about Orisa where it like just aim it like right in front of right at like the Reinhardt's jockstrap pretty much, and then you just shoot up, and it gets out of his range really fast, but hits everybody behind him really good. And I've been like practicing that, but to get that off without the Reinhardt actually like just moving out of the way or moving into the way, I guess is a better thing. It's just so finicky. So like, yeah, running Doom, assuming that the Holt's gonna get you in a spot where you're able to get value on the other team with your punch or anything, is looking real bad. So.
Well,
So
also
wait,
with the-
so Doom not being good equals sign Chipsa? Is that what you're supposed to do then?
Oh god.
Yes.
The thing with any meta though, right, is that off the beginning of the meta, people forget how to play against certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
Doom came back into meta, you know, no one really know what the fuck they're doing against Doomfist. It's like, why is he farming me? And it's over time you figure out. It's like as a Reinhardt playing against a Versa Hog, over time you'll figure out, okay, this is where as a team we need to position, right? Like when May comes back into meta, you think about chokes more often because it's like if you play Legion Control Center versus Reaper Doom versus a May, it's it's two completely different comps. Like you have to play things completely different ways.
Yeah, the minute Hanzo comes back, especially if May is going to be partnered with it, then you're going to see a lot more Diva or Sigma play just to eat those high value ults that are going to win games.
For sure.
I think it would be more Diva over Sigma though.
It's just she can get froze
I don't know
first,
about
and
that,
that's the
man.
problem.
Dude, if you like with
But I
Diva's
agree.
D Matrix, you can like miss a grab and then still be able to like grab it unless they like throw it like straight at their feet because like
They just
What's
need to
the how
patch her
quickly
defense
it's off
matrix because
cooldown again?
everybody's said it's just how bad it is, and the only reason they don't care right now is because like 3 people in the world are still playing Diva.
And me true.
It's like Choi, Hotba, and like one other person.
Base, probably.
You have to be
Fury.
Korean.
I think any time
Nah,
actually
you
that you
can
can close
easily
distance
that.
fast, I think Ryan Zarya will actually be somewhat viable because
Thank God.
Yeah.
the barrier difference between Ryan and everything else now is just so massive.
Yeah, that's
That-
fair.
like even like control points.
I mean, you can play you can play like Control Center. You can play King's Row first is another good example. Like something that where first choke to point is like you can get there with just a Ryan shield, right?
Or Ryan
Like, from
sits
choke-
in too,
Nepal
for that
Village.
reason.
Nepal Village, sure. Like anywhere you can get from where the enemy can see you to where you want to get to, like let's see, if it's short sight lines from the enemy to you, I think Ryan will work. And then I think the best thing to run with a Ryan is probably a Zarya, especially if they're running Ana, enemy
Yeah.
tuning
Yeah.
entities.
Well, Ryan's kind of good as like any with
Or
any
Cleanse Discords.
off-ish tank, being Sigma, Zarya, or Orisa. Like they all have their spot, especially Sig. I've noticed that like, because Sig will have the
Yeah,
second
you
biggest
can.
shield with Ryan, so like just pretty much pocketing your Reinhardt with the Sig to get in position, and then the minute the team fight's engaged, have Ryan do the shielding and let Sigma do the damage. It just like it's pretty much a perfect like match for like small like you said like small sightline areas, because it's just get the Ryan in position, hold the shield up for the DPS, and the minute there's an engagement, swing to like clean it up and get ult for next fight.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
I'll
rinse
see a lot of
repeat.
testing. I'll see a lot of people testing my solo queue games. Ryan Hog. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because that's a lot of
Please
shield
stop-
burst and
PSA
ignoring
to all
shields.
Masters tanks. Please stop fucking locking that on my comp games. I like to win. Thanks.
I got it locked 3 games in a row today.
Just wanna get
That's
off
okay. I
my
had a
chest.
Sigma Hog the other day, and then
Nice.
That's not that bad. That's not that bad.
It's rough.
I had
Sigma
Hog
Hog,
Zarya.
It's better than Ball Hog. I'll tell you
I'm
that.
I
saying-
love Ball Hog though.
I'm saying, dude, me and Horace 3-0 in the Bull Hog duo, so
Yeah,
no,
Ball Hog's
don't at me.
fat.
Ball Hog's sleeper, man. It's not that bad.
So good.
it's
Love
pretty,
it.
pretty
You
bad.
just have to not use it on maps where it sucks. Like you gotta have
Yeah.
the brain to use it.
You can play it
That's
on
what the
Anubis,
first
and that's
one
basically it.
Ilios well, dude.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Ilios well, yeah.
Ilios well,
Ilios
yeah.
Well, so
underrated.
when they run a Sig Hog, they can just hook you into the well, and you can't do dick because they have a shield, and you don't. Although
Yeah.
actually, like booping in front of shields into a hook is actually pretty decent, but that's
Yeah.
very niche.
It's tough on that map too. I always have trouble when I'm playing ball on well. Just it's so tight.
We have a guy who's only
Yeah.
our well ball player, because otherwise I'm the ball player. But he specifically practices Ilios just so he can get massive boops, because it's such a boop heavy map, and if you really like learn it, then you can get a lot of value. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just Poor ball, so niche.
I wish you-
Non-solo queue.
Oh yeah, no,
every-
that's
every
the
game
DPS
is solo
players
queue.
that need to play.
100% pick rate in my games.
Dude, ball hog.
Actually-
Ball
Yeah,
hog.
I couldn't play Ryan, and then my other tank's like, oh, I'm gonna play ball, like on King's Row, like awesome. Just what I
Actually,
wanted.
though, King's Row isn't a bad ball map.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah, it's like
counterpoint. I'm gonna
classic
counterpoint
capital.
that.
Hold up.
I'm gonna counterpoint that. King's Row isn't basically a bad map for anything. It's just a better map for pretty much everything but ball.
Yeah,
True.
I mean it's the best map in the game to me.
Oh, easy, of course.
That or Lijiang, yeah.
Horizon Lunar Colony.
I like Temple.
Temple's
That's because
good.
you're a Junkrat player.
I was gonna say, you're a Junkrat one trick. You like all
Oh,
the
you're
two
one trick?
CPs.
Okay, that's a little too far, buddy.
Yeah.
You're a Junkrat one trick player.
PDK, I'm on your team, and I've been on
Capital,
your
I'm
team
literally
for how
still-
long now?
literally
I'm still calling you a
watch
Junkrat one
my
trick.
Junkrat.
Gang,
I'm
gang.
saying this Hollywood underrated map.
Hollywood's pretty
Yeah, I
good.
agree.
Hollywood.
I don't think I could.
See, I don't like 2CP a lot, but I've always really liked Volskaya. I've always thought
I
Volskaya
love
was
Volskaya.
like,
You can
Volskaya
play
is
exactly the way you
no-
want. It doesn't
Volskaya-
have any bad comps. Oh my god, that's so
for
good.
sure.
The
can
only
ask- oh my
thing I
gosh.
hate about Volskaya is when they play a sim on defense. Holy fuck.
Pyra, you were in that
People are
game. How'd you like
Yeah.
Volskaya? That was fun, right?
I was gonna say something, but I think it clips people in your chat, so I don't want to leak anything.
Oh, okay.
Say it,
I'll-
Pyro. Say it. You have two
Okay.
Eclipse guys right here, right now.
I think over 50% of Meteor's map losses comes from Volskaya.
Yeah, dude.
To Alta 4 Prodigious and Harmony Chaos.
Let's go, dude.
Rocket, Bray, I know you guys are watching this. You guys know what to do. Take
Write
notes.
that down, lock Volskaya.
Lock it. It's a
And,
free
and
map
then
win.
the meteors just come out and
Do we
just.
talk? Do we want to
Yeah.
talk? Do we want to talk about collapses or like what do we talk about now?
Collapses. What do you mean of teams?
Yeah, like what teams are going away?
Cap,
You can choose
talk
teams.
then. You started it. What
What,
you
what
got?
teams are going away? Like
All of them.
like
everything
I've
but 2 or
heard
3.
that the meteors and comets org is gonna die.
Oh, that's
I
a
don't
whole
think-
Twitter handle that's gonna be gone.
Here, I'll put the
So-
I'll say this actually.
It's the best names.
The
I don't
most
think-
under.
Oh,
Go on,
sorry,
Pyro. My bad.
No, you go.
I was gonna say the most underrated affiliated teams, Instalock and Spare Change. I know they're probably not gonna be a thing anymore.
I
One
wonder why
of
that.
them I can almost tell you. I say one of them. I think
As
I.
long as Juke's on like Instalock, like it's not gonna die.
I can see that.
Like
I
Juke,
can agree.
Juke cares too much about this community to like let anything die like that. Because
That
Juke,
is true.
Juke gets directly affected by every team that drops out. So like, there's no way that Juke's also gonna do it. Because like, Juke's been on so many like in the middle of so many shit shows. So like,
Yeah.
Alright, boys.
I feel so
I
bad for the
can-
man.
I can tell you from Ring from Instalock, they are not. I want to think how to
Duke is
phrase
in the
this.
chat.
I know.
Good guys,
I
good guys,
have to-
good,
I have
good
to
guys
head
over there.
They're good
I
guys,
found
but they're not that coordinated.
Alright, all I have to say is that
Dude,
we
you
got
have
some.
3 months. Like that's
There's
I feel like
some
that's
cool
such a
orgs.
like not worthy thing to like talk about. Because like you have 3 months to find new players, 3 months to get like synergy up. Like there's
Yeah.
gonna be a whole new meta. Maybe it's gonna like,
Metas are
appeal
gonna
to more
shift, yeah,
people.
exactly.
So like I don't think
Like-
we can speculate on that quite yet.
I know
Like-
I know that since overtime's coming in, like I want to talk about like I know Illusions is trying to move up to Discord.
Modify's coming in.
Vitamin C is looking at something for Discord. Hopefully, don't want to say anything on that much, but
Prodigious affiliates coming in.
yeah,
We still don't
Modify.
know-
Modify,
Sorry to interrupt you. We
boys.
still don't know if overtime is gonna get
Try-
like, accepted
yeah.
in the Discord. But,
Yeah,
sorry,
they're
go
trying. They're trying. They're trying.
Correct.
I think I would assume. I know DDoS and Alta 4 are staying where they are. I know DDoS is going to be Harmony. Alta 4 is. I know
Oh,
they're not
some
going to
shit-
transcend
shit
into tier
players
games.
around.
So okay, I can tell you this about Alta 4. Alta 4 is
They're staying in
is
Discord. They're staying in
current.
Discord.
Yeah, they are staying in Discord, but the new Alta 4 roster is literally going to be DDoS. The old DDoS from Harmony is literally
Really?
going to be a new Alta 4.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
Literally.
I saw Wish Story is free agent, so that makes sense.
So the reason why I'm saying that is because the only person that doesn't have to move up from DDoS that played this season was Rubik's. So
I know
literally,
Karma and Tough Luck are staying.
I heard Tough Luck might go to OD.
OD. You mean
Really?
Angel?
I thought what's,
I
wait,
don't think
isn't
so,
someone
dude.
from Tough Luck leaving?
Smugs probably.
Yeah,
I don't
Smugs
know.
says he was
Smugs'
gonna
play.
well, Smugs' SR is too high, so like he couldn't play.
Well, he
Discord
could play
anyway.
in he could play in our
You can play in the
Open
open
tier.
tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
open tier. Yeah.
I
But
don't
I don't
think
think he's
I don't
interested.
think they're gonna have a transcendence tier.
I don't think you'll see a single team from Discord tier as a full team move up to the Transcendent tier next season.
That's
my
us, baby.
take.
No,
I think
unless it's commit. I know commit will.
I think
I know,
every
I
single
think-
team that we consider moving up will have roster changes of some sort. Whether it's
Yeah.
like one roster change or 5, I think every team that moves up, if there's going to be any, will have like significant roster changes.
What does a roster
No, for
change
sure.
constitute as? Because we are moving up and we've signed 3 people in the middle of the season but never added them to the roster, like because issues. They are too high SR.
Well, then
Roster-
there's
Because they've been
there's three
practicing with us
roster
for
moves
4
right there.
months, so like. I
That's
don't
3
know
roster
on
moves.
that.
Yeah, there's 3 roster moves right there.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Sure.
Then you're.
I think
thing's true.
like significant out of a 6-person team, I think 2 or more changes will qualify as significant because I think changing a third of your team is
Yeah, 30 of
significant.
starters is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a question.
think
I
two
had a
or more.
rumor. I had a rumor about Maelstrom moving up.
Do you think
Does anyone know if that's true?
Commit has significant roster changes?
I heard that as well. I don't know though.
I don't like the if Maelstrom doesn't have to move up, they shouldn't.
I think they're staying
No,
together as
honesty.
a team. I think they have to move up though. I know like Nagi Saws, Diamond, Crispy, and
Yeah, I don't think it's up to them.
Triage.
I think they're all too good.
Yeah, I know. I know Nagisa has to. I think Triage has to.
Triage does.
They're staying together. They're
Um,
staying together as a team though. I know that for sure. And I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. I know your teammates staying with the DDoS org.
All
Your
of Impious is
teammates
staying
going
in
to
Discord.
Alta 4.
Yeah, he's staying with the org though.
I don't think.
I can
So-
tell you from the inside, the only people that are leaving the Alta for DDoS, like,
It's you and PDK
or-
good. I know.
or me and PDK. Yeah, the rest are staying.
So wait,
The
what's
rest are
happening
staying.
to Alta 4 if the entire DDoS team is going up? Is Alta 4 going down?
Bunch of
I'll
free
tell
agents,
for-
I guess.
No. So
It's
DDoS
just you
has
and
already
PDK
started to
can
make
make
some
noise.
moves. DDoS has already started to make some moves. Thug is coming back.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't know he was.
Is he going
Um,
on to
Yeah,
Harmony
he didn't
or?
play the season.
Harmony.
He's
Oh,
he's
as a
staying,
player,
he's playing
okay.
for DDoS and Harmony.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's
They
cool.
have Stark. Stark is a really good main tank. That was to replace me and Blue. While and Rubik's is staying there. So they have 3 or 4 core players that they can build the team around. Pretty much, they pretty much have their tank line set. They just got to find DPS and then another support, pretty much.
DPS are a dime a dozen.
Here's
True.
one thing. Here's actually one thing. So to extend on what I was saying before, on no Discord teams, I don't think anybody from Discord will like fully move up to Transcendent. I don't think any team from either tier should move up as a full team.
Oh, I agree entirely.
That I
Fair
agree with.
enough.
Like even
Yeah.
being on my team, like there are some people I don't want moving up. But
Every team has players that can't hang at that level. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
No,
Like,
I feel-
Exactly.
for
That's-
every single team.
Hey, Pyro, how
That's
about
where I think
vitamin
Alta
C?
4 is gonna buckle.
hey,
Hey,
Impers,
Pyro,
if
how
you're
about
listening,
vitamin C?
you gotta make like a Pokemon rap style of players that should be in the open tier.
'Cause think about it like this, right? Like, if you're a Harmony tier team, right, and let's say you went, I don't know, 12-3, for instance, right,
14-1.
and your entire team moves up to Discord tier next season,
Yes.
and then like you also have let's take 2 teams just as a hypothesis, right? Let's say Illusion and Maelstrom. Okay, let's take those 2 teams
No,
for
take
example.
vitamin C.
okay?
Okay.
So let's say all of Maelstrom is up to Discord tier next season, and everyone here would agree. I'm assuming that they're probably worse than Illusion is at like right now.
Yes,
Come on,
for
Maelstrom?
sure.
Yeah,
I
mhm.
genuinely don't know.
Yes, agreed.
I agree,
Okay.
100%.
I
Alright.
agree. Yeah.
There's some debate to be
playing
had
both-
there.
Playing both of them, that is a 100% factual statement.
Like, you're
There's
trying to say
debate.
one's
Yeah, I
objectively
agree.
better than the other because that's like impossible.
Maelstrom is objectively worse than Illusion at
Okay,
this
well,
current point in time.
I think if Maelstrom and Illusion played the same team, let's say they play the same 5 teams, I think Illusion is better against all 5.
But that doesn't make
Mhm.
someone objectively better.
I think Illusion, if Illusion plays
It's
Maelstrom,
still
Illusion.
subjective.
I think if you beat the same, I think if you take 5 teams, right, and you beat all 5 of them, and then you take another team and then they lose to the same 5, I think you're objectively a better team.
Pyro,
I mean, you
you
have
could
the
also
control
say that.
there.
Pyro, you could also say, let's say Illusion played Maelstrom 5 times. I think Illusion would win 4 of those times.
Okay, let's take a different example then. All right, let's say Illusion and Fighting Potatoes. Okay, can we all agree that Illusion is better than Fighting Potatoes as of
Yes,
right now?
I hope
I will
Yes.
agree with
Oh
that.
yes, 100%.
If
So
Illusion
all-
and Maelstrom played each other 5 times, Illusion
All
would
right,
beat
we're moving
Maelstrom.
up from
We're
that.
past that, Capital. We're past that.
I keep my internet.
So if you're Fighting Potatoes and you move up, let's assume that you did better than you did this season. Okay, let's say you have 10 wins this season. Okay,
Okay.
if you bring your full roster up and Illusion makes 3 or 4 like clear roster upgrades, and they're also playing, like I don't think you're gonna be in a good spot to continue that team.
Yeah.
I think every team that moves up should be making roster moves.
See, that's where Alt F4 is gonna.
How about
buckle.
Vitamin C, Pyro?
Well,
He's dead, crab.
No leaks, no leaks.
That's where Alt F4 is gonna buckle though, because I can. Blue is having to move up. Blue's gonna be on Alt F4. Mix is gonna be on Alt F4. Your teammate's gonna be on Alt F4. The list could go on. Literally, like I
Your
said,
teammate's a Discord tier player.
Well, actually, that's a good example of this season, I guess. I think Alt F4 had relatively the same roster that they had from Season 2, right? Where they did well. They did well in Season 2. They became the same roster as Season 3. And then the results, I think out of all their games, they had 2 or 3 legitimate wins. Whereas everything else was a forfeit.
We're not good.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So everyone else made roster changes, for the most part, other than Alt F4. And they went from doing well to doing poorly. I think the same thing will happen. Even if you're a top Harmony tier team coming into next season, keep the full same roster, I think you'll have issues.
You gotta
I
have at
agree.
least
You're
add
talking about moving
something.
up
It
the
doesn't have to be
Discord,
a
right?
player, but like you have to figure something out if you're gonna have the exact same team. Like get like a coach or something and just completely change the way you think about the game to a point where you're thinking like 500 SR higher, because there's no way if you play the same way right now. Like my team's a great example. Like if we played the way we did this season in the open tier, we probably wouldn't take a map. So like,
I don't think you would win a game yet.
no, there's just no way. So like we've added people halfway through, and I think that's a big reason for why we're also losing maps is because we were practicing with one team and playing with another, and then we end up like, so you got to make either roster swaps like that or just like bring somebody on who outside objective and just hit the grind, because you're exactly right. There's no way that you're gonna perform the way you want to with a constantly improving like community like this.
Yeah, that's fair. So realistically, how many players do you think in Discord tier could play
I know, like, some people
in
have had
the,
trials
in the
with
upper
this.
tier?
Like, I know, like,
I'd say like
Jason
a
NBA
solid
trying
third,
out
maybe
with
even
Clips,
half.
but-
Like I think everybody from Discord tier has just objectively gotten better because of
Really?
like the skill ceiling of like commit. Because everyone, like, let's say the skill ceiling was like Meteor's One Last Ride, Tough Luck. Like I don't think anybody would have improved as fast as they did, especially being those 3 teams. Like we played Meteors at the beginning of the season, and like no shade, they were like not where they were now, like by a long shot.
They hadn't come into their own yet.
Exactly. They were still all great players, but like
Mm.
we were able to beat them, and we were not like that good at the time, but because we were able to lose to Alt F4, like that's bad. And so like, and then you take a team like Meteors that are like begging the SR gods and like the RNGesus to like let them stay in second place over like One Last Ride and Tough Luck and whoever, or maybe even get a map off of like a win off of commit. But having that skill ceiling of commit and seeing like having everybody have a tangible goal of what better looks like, I think everybody in Discord tier has gotten so much better. Like Meteors
I
being
agree.
like the biggest improvement in my opinion, even though it wasn't as able to be seen because no one ever really saw when they were bad. And then like, or not bad, I wouldn't say that. At all,
Yeah,
but,
I
like,
know what you
not
mean.
as good as they
not
are
what they
now.
are today.
I
Yeah,
played against
and
them
then
in week
like,
2 and they were good.
and then I'd say like Eclipse. So like those would be the 2 big ones.
So like the thing that I'm worried about then for next season is I don't know in the current player base that there is in Tranquility that there's 8 teams worth of people to make like competitive open tier.
People would have to join. Yeah, you're right.
If I'm being
So-
honest,
Absolutely.
if I'm being honest, like to counterpoint what you're saying, so the question was initially what? How many like individual players?
Like a
do you think can
percentage
hang
of
in
like
open tier?
Discord
Yeah,
tier.
could we fill up 8 teams basically? Is what we
Yeah.
have to.
I think if you look at the All-Star list for Discord tier this season, I think there's probably 30% of those All-Star nominees that could hang in the open tier.
Well, a
I
lot of the
could not,
people
I
that
can
were
tell you that.
I would put in the open tier are not even all star. Like didn't even get qualified.
Yeah,
Barnes
All-Stars
is
are
a
a few.
Barnes is a better
Definitely
support than me, guys.
There's a few, but
Bubbers is low key good though, actually.
Also, that's a popularity contest. A lot of the.
Oh,
Entirely.
for sure.
no,
I mean,
I
you
agree.
can- But yeah,
But
there's,
the
there's definitely
nominees
people on that
weren't. The
list.
nominees are just the captains telling you who's like probably.
I don't
worthy of
know.
it.
I'm not a top 5 off tank in the Discord tier.
I think the All Stars should be done differently, but
I mean,
No, no,
there's-
All-Stars-
you're never.
I think
You're
I'm
never
well,
gonna get through that.
There's so
Unless-
much stuff in this community that should be done differently. But like,
you're
that's-
gonna tell me like Cryogenics and like Guava should be like if Guava was still in Harmony, of course, but like if Cryogenics Guava like they're like both really good supports that they both can't. The only one of them can qualify as an All Star.
yeah, exactly. That doesn't make any sense. You should just be able to qualify. You should just tell the whoever's doing it who is a all-star. Just like no limit.
Like
Obviously,
there was
like
3 good DPS on Karma, Splinter, Scene, and Land, and only one of them can be all stars.
well, we had to nominate a tank, and like none of our tanks
Well,
deserved it. Like it was so-
that's more because we kind of know about those players because like we're just active in the community. But for a lot of people that aren't watching every single cast, it kind of wouldn't be fair if there's like a team that had a lot more known players in the like in the community itself. They would probably have a lot more nominees. Like, 'cause that's kind of what happened a little bit with some of the season 2 awards from that. I want to say is that it was just people that were known throughout the community. That's why they try to limit it to one a team. So that way it's not just so like if it was like think of Discord tier, it kind of ended up being this way anyway. But like if we had the Discord tier all stars, it would probably be some Meteors players and almost all of Commit, and there probably wouldn't be
Okay,
for
but
other
all
teams
of
going in.
Commit basically deserve to be all stars because you're gonna tell me one of Marv and Andy, who both won awards, can't be all stars.
Yeah, I'm not saying they both should. I'm not saying they definitely both shouldn't be, but I understand where they're coming from on the admin side with that. They don't want to just have it be like maybe the all stars just from the best team. They're trying to still keep it like a community.
yeah,
thing.
it'd be
Yeah.
all of Commit, some of Meteors, and then 2 players from other teams being like Smirk, and then like
Rocket.
well, I wasn't even gonna say Rocket, but that's a good one. I was gonna say Smugs.
Yeah, Smugs is pretty wild. I love me some Smirk. It's hard to show off on.
I miss playing with Matt so much. God.
I know it makes me so sad whenever we're playing the game. He's booth. Can I go Ana? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. He just goes, okay.
We have
You
yet to
continue
able
on.
to tell our Ana player no. Ben
Yo.
Ben has
This
to.
is something we
People do
kinda
like Arista
overlooked,
jail,
though.
but maybe this is the support jail is worse.
Moira's
don't know.
pretty bad.
One
I
team
can
that
at least have
kind
I can pop off on
Support
Arisa
jail's
and
worse.
feel pretty good about it, but I can't pop off on Moira. There's just no way. Like everything's too slow.
Well, just
One team that we kind of forgot about though in the Discord here about what's going to happen to him is Harmony and Chaos.
they're leaving. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're disbanding.
Yeah, I think Cav's done. I think he's leaving the community. He's gonna hand it off to Juke and Yeti and see what happens.
Oh,
Ban!
Is there actually a single player on that team that would have to move up above? Like, is there any a person on that team that's above 3.8 other than Truth?
Maybe.
I don't know.
No,
I
they're-
don't think so.
Isn't Cav technically like Harmony tier?
Yeah,
Cavs 2.3.
yeah.
but Cav's the commissioner, so he plays where he wants.
Well, it
Also,
was
you
more
can just play wherever you want. There's never been a
It was
rule
also
that you can't
more-
play lower.
After season 2, Harmony and Chaos with their roster wasn't going to be able to play in the Harmony tier, and they didn't want to start cutting people. That's why. they
Right,
moved
yeah, that's exactly what our issue would be going into open tier, is that
Well,
we have
that's-
like 3.4 players, but we don't want to leave them behind, so we're just gonna let our like 4.0 average just go down to like 3.8.
Yeah, that was kind of like what we were mentioning. There wasn't tons of changes early on compared to their season 2 roster. Their season 2 roster did great. They got second place, and they did second place season 1 as well. That was kind of the thing you were saying. No team should necessarily move straight up with all their players again this year.
Yeah.
In a perfect
For
world,
sure.
maybe.
Yeah, we'll see though with that. I definitely think some teams, basically every single team has to make something.
But I like the way they're doing it in next season, where like if you're not cutting it, then you get put into like a lower half.
I really
Yeah,
like
that's-
the
Yeah,
new
yeah,
system.
yeah,
I
yeah.
really
So,
like
like-
that too.
Yeah, so that the teams that rise to the top can just play each other instead of having to just absolutely stomp teams that have no business playing some of the other teams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like,
think-
like a fear of relegation.
And coming from Meteors too, like not to like BM people, but when it's like you go from scrimming at like 3.8 scrims to playing a game against like a 3.4,
playing
3.5
against
team,
Invictus.
it's
you
like
can
it's
say
just,
that.
it's just like it's not good for either side, right? Like,
No.
You don't have fun because it's not like challenging, and you don't have fun because it's not really a contest.
Yeah, like when we played against Commit, we made a pact to both just go Ryan Zarya because like it's not that like either of us were trying like we were saying we're gonna lose, but like in what kind of a world were we gonna be the team to upset Commit in the same
Yeah.
way? Because like
So-
they're screaming like what like 3.8 4K teams, and then we're screaming like 3.4K teams. It's just different. It's just not the same thing.
Yeah, like it was the same in Harmony too. Like I know Illusion scrimming like I don't know if Illusion was scrimming like the same as ours Invictus or like a tiny bit different, a tiny bit lower. But then compared to like Potatoes, I don't even know if Fighting Potatoes scrimmed and like Boop. I'm not like shit on Vila and Boop. But like
No,
Boop,
he's
what did they
good.
scrim like 2.7, 2.6?
Well, I mean, I can say about the Illusion stuff. Illusion varied against They definitely weren't scrimming the same tiers because we did in-house pugs sometimes, and like we had to quit that because that stuff got toxic real quick.
We do that too. Yeah,
I can.
Yeah.
it can get rough.
DDoS was scrimming. I brought this up before. We were scrimming like 3-1-3-2 teams. And
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Harmony tier. I think Karma was. You would see like someone posting for a scrim in the Harmony. They're basically all shooting for that towards the end of the season,
Mhm.
which is
There's-
fair. They
yeah,
should have
there's
been
no
because that's
reason
what
not
teams
to when you're
basically
that
climb
late.
to. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, so
Alright.
so Harmony started at like 2-6-2-7, and then by the end it was like 3-2-3-3.
Which is
And then-
good. That's what it should do after that
And
much, like what, almost 20 weeks of playing. It should basically get to that.
Yeah, and then Discord started at 3-3, and then at the end at the top was like 3-8-3-9.
Yeah, there
You
was.
can say
definitely a
say
big
Harmony
change.
now is like the top parts of Harmony now is like where Discord began.
Pretty much.
No, that's
yeah.
more than
Yeah.
fair. More than fair.
Yeah,
I-
I don't even know
so-
if that's fair. That's literally what it is. I don't think
Okay.
there's very
I
few
feel like-
people.
That's just my lingo. That's how I say.
Alright,
say
I
everything's fair.
got a question for the panel here. Top Discord
What
teams.
Pokemon should I catch next?
Top Discord teams next season. Top Discord teams next season.
I
Oh,
need
that's
to know
Well,
early,
the
we
man.
can't answer that
roster.
because we don't even know who's gonna be
There's
there.
only
Yeah,
400.
Exactly.
Who's gonna be
Whatever
that
team
bad?
I'm
Based off of
There.
what we've seen so far.
But yeah, if you're looking at like I don't know like Undead Battery, I haven't like seen any like of the people that I'm trying out like for next season. I don't know if they're gonna move up.
Actually, can I propose an alternative question that's like on the same lines?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
If you could take 3 players from each role in Harmony tier to make a Discord tier team next season, who would you
Well,
pick? Who do you think they'd do?
Let's go down the list. All right.
Well,
Sushi and
uh,
Cry on
down.
support.
3 from each role. 3
Yeah, I don't know
supports,
another
3
one.
DPS.
I don't
Let's
think
go down the
anybody
list,
else on vitamin C was even worth mentioning.
Oh, that means I started, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Alright.
Okay, let me
Remember,
pull up
you
these
have
messages
two-
real quick that JuCo was sending me a few days ago.
You have two Harmony players. Or, I lied, you have
correct your
3 Harmony
answer?
players right here, right
Uh,
now. So keep your
I
answers
have
a
to get-
little.
I don't know. I mean, I know Harmony tier like okay from casting some of the games. I'm obviously pretty biased with a lot of it. I
Yeah.
think if I had to go for like one from each role, I mean, obviously I want to pick Kurt on DPS. I just know Kurt. I
Yeah,
know
Kurt's
Kurt's
nutty.
insane.
Kurt's-
I think we're all
pretty
doing
good.
that one.
I
A
think
lot
we'd
of
all
people are gonna
pick
pick
Kurt.
Kurt there. Yeah. On tank, I think it varies because like
Yeah.
I don't know how you value an off tank more than a main tank. I know the off tank's better because that's just what I'm looking at because that's what I am.
Yeah.
But like main tank wise, I'm sure there's other really nutty ones. I mean,
So
it also
give
depends
us a
on what
roundabout
meta's
answer.
coming around too. It also
Stop
comes with
giving
meta's
us a
coming around.
roundabout answer. Just give us the 3.
Yeti from
Well, like
Pandas.
off the top of my
He's
head, I
super
hear. I think Yeti and Traction are both really solid main tank.
Absolutely.
Like
Yep.
Traction's insane, but also like if Ryan becomes big, that would be a really solid pickup to have as a.
Oh,
first.
interacting with
Yeah,
incoming
Fry was
people
meta
for sure.
Dragon.
For sure.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Support wise, I mean, Cryogenics is all. Cryogenics plays support, right?
Yeah, Cry's on
Yes,
support
yeah.
for sure.
Sushi's also really
Sushi.
crazy support. I mean, there's multiple people in Harmony tier that definitely could have played Discord tier.
See,
at
you
the
get
beginning
stuck
of
after
this-
Sushi because there's just no other player on Vitamin C that's like even.
Well,
even
I
there.
didn't pick people here. I would pick Capital too. Capital's honestly.
Ah, you
The
can't say
mechanics are
that.
really solid.
I'll give you 3.
This is the first time I've been
I'll-
talked good about it on the beat drop.
Yeah, no,
Every
that
beat
broke
drop,
the streak.
JuCo's made sure somebody said something bad about me.
Oh,
You
Neil,
guys
yeah.
want 3 clear-cut answers
Yeah, Needle's
from
good.
a Harmony
I-
players?
Yes,
If I would
yes,
pick
yes,
three-
yes.
J-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
If
keep
I
going.
had to
So-
pick 3, my 3 would have been on support, Cry, Sushi, and Needle. On DPS, I'd probably pick. Here, let me go to this list. I have a list somewhere. Where is this?
His hit
Um,
list.
Mallard. Someone could say Mallard too.
I would probably
He
for
can't
DPS,
play.
Put him on
Let's
support.
go down the
I'd-
list.
All right, we don't talk about it again. We don't talk about it.
Kurt, Splinter are up there.
That's good, yeah.
See, man.
Like, C-Man.
W2 Capital.
I isn't it, sorry, PDK kid. Kurt, Splinter, and I have to say that. And then for tanks, definitely Normac for sure. Normac's fucking nutty.
Oh, that's right.
He's pretty
Normac.
good.
Normac.
Normac.
Oh, I have a
gotta
bug
get my
me
boy
eating
shout out.
Oh, I have a highlight of me eating one of
yeah.
his grabs way back in
Yeti,
tryouts.
no
and I
Ramak,
love
and
it.
like Toro would be the best tank line.
Yeah,
Or,
Normac.
corrected.
Stanky from Karma is also fucking nutty. So like,
Players
yeah.
very good tank too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, players actually.
Ahem.
Yeah, player's good too.
Since
I
we've
wouldn't
abandoned the
player.
original idea of just going down the list,
I had to pull up my
surprise.
list. Sorry.
Everyone just-
Alright, how about we
Surprise.
get to the list and then we'll discuss it rather than try to
So-
spitball it right now.
Alright, for me,
I have a list, so be good.
playing against all these players, for me, it would
Sorry,
honestly.
PDK kid.
Cap, shut up. Shut up.
What?
It,
I have to be
so,
talking
from my
to him,
point,
That's a part of my my
Oh my god,
I'm
Capital.
about to be a nice person.
This is why you're the least loved, Lucio.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh, got you there.
Okay.
You know what?
Alright, so from my point
Where's
of
your
view,
award?
Capital!
Give a server mute. Give a server
Jeez.
mute.
Capital's in trouble.
Server mute this kid.
I'm always in trouble. But let's keep this in mind.
So from my point of view,
But yeah, if we're serious, yeah, those PDK kids probably up there as well.
Capital, you are fucking shitting my dick right now. Shut up.
Better. Main tanks from Harmony tier. You gotta say them because they're in the call.
Yuko, could you server mute him, please?
Alright,
I'm
stream,
being
that's gonna
nice,
be it
I'm
for
being
today. We're gonna
nice.
sign off. We're gonna have to handle Capital.
What? From my point of view,
Now we can't even get in Discord. He's too high. he has to go to translate.
All right, can we let Jay start talk? Jeez Louise.
For real.
Hi, Jay Star.
So-
Talk. Go.
oh my god, I swear to
Jay,
God.
stop,
Alright,
please.
so from my point of view, it would probably for supports it would have to be Cry, Sushi, and probably no bias here. Your teammate. Teammate was really underrated for DDoS, in all honesty. And
Okay.
Okay.
DPS would probably be Kurt, Player,
Player?
Players
or
10.
not
Player's
Player,
tank.
my bad.
Question mark?
It would be Kurt, Johnny Robot, and this third one's hard though.
C-Man.
You
Jay
need a
start-
head scan.
C-Man's
Jay start
good.
talking because I can't hear him.
Yeah, I'm talking.
You need a head scan.
I
Right.
know, and that's a thing. And I'd probably take Triage, in all honesty.
So that's pretty good.
Solid pick, yeah.
Yeah, triage very
For,
good.
as far as tanks go, a little biased here. I'd obviously take myself.
Okay, sure.
Probably Toractin and Normac.
Yeah.
Noric's really good.
Clapping.
What did he pick? I didn't hear him. I had
He picked
Uh,
Picked
Rick-
you 9
what do you
times,
think,
Cap. How do you
Scan?
feel?
I just heard.
I said Triage for hit
Oh,
scan.
just watch the stream, buddy. Watch the
I-
stream.
I-
watch
I
it.
heard-
back to VOD.
Oh, what?
I said Triage, dude. Triage is Widowmaker.
Yeah.
Is-
And then-
I Widowmakered him the first match of Tranquility I played.
Did you say C-Man
Pick up
for Prague?
He
or
didn't
what
say
did you
C-Man, I did.
Oh,
I did not say
biased.
Seaman. I said Kurt and I mean Seaman's up there, yeah.
He's so good.
But I mean,
like, consistently
really good.
overperforming. Like, it's ridiculous. I get that, like,
Yeah.
he's part of...
Gives me
I
nightmares.
don't know. Like, it's whatever.
yeah.
I mean,
And
yeah, I
then
mean
did
As
Seaman-
someone who only watched, like, 3 games, like, I was just... he just stood out to me.
If you don't take Sushi and Cry, you're dumb. That's like
Well,
the-
no, Sushi and Cry got picked up almost immediately.
JuCo, what about your 9?
Yeah.
yeah.
My 9, I know about 9. Yeah,
Hey,
no,
boy.
I'm gonna go. I said for the same support line, it's gonna be Cry, Sushi, and Cap. And then DPS, it's Mallard, Seaman, and probably Johnny. And then Tank, Noramac, Tora, and Yeti.
Yeti.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
solid.
Okay. Playing against Yeti, I think he's overrated.
Maybe.
That's your opinion.
Yeah.
That is my opinion.
That's just
because
like your opinion,
We've
man.
been clocking in here for about like 2 hours, so I'm probably gonna have to shut it off soon because we have covered a lot.
Okay, let's keep going down the list. That's all I got.
I got my list already prepped here. I can go through.
Alright.
it.
Alright, Pyro.
All right.
Oh, did I really-
Tanks. Player, Stanky, Normac. Okay, nice well-rounded tank composition.
That
On
is.
DPS, there's 2 names that haven't been mentioned yet. Okay, so Kurt, a easy one. For my money, the most underrated player in Harmony tier, Scene from Karma,
Ooh.
Okay. Ooh, yeah.
and then arguably another most underrated player, O from Jetpack Cats.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's good. Ooh.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's
Pyro,
good.
are you stealing from my list? I'm confused.
Can I pick mine?
No, I'm looking through Harmony tier, and then my supports. I'm gonna stick on the underrated. I'm actually gonna take Demo for my dead battery. I think he's underrated.
Nice.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Let's see what other underrated supports are there.
This one, man.
Needle from Holy Jalapenos, though.
I
I don't
slapped
think
him
he's
on his
I don't
face.
think he's underrated, but he's definitely awesome. But I don't think he's underrated.
Jen from Past My Pythons.
I haven't seen Pythons play much.
Not gonna lie, I've never watched a Python's game, and I don't know.
Jen's just super sick. He did a
He's
tryout
off
for one of
tank,
my
though.
for
He's
my
an off tank, right?
modified team. He did pretty well.
Who's the support player from Careless Pandas?
Oh no.
Yeah.
T-Quinn and
That's one Tequin. That's the one. Take
I
T-Quinn,
was gonna say
and
it's
then
T-Quinn, Screwy
From-
Louie.
From what I've heard of T-Quinn is that they're toxic, but that's
Okay,
we'll
that's
go
not the
T-Quinn,
toxic.
we'll take Cry Sushi, and then we'll go Demo because no one else said it. So
Because Pyro doesn't want to see me.
Alright, can I?
exactly.
PD, go.
Yeah, PDK did not get his
Alright.
picks.
Tanks. I'm going with let's see here. Probably Tor. Definitely Tor. Wasn't really ready. And then probably the off tank is Bebop from Killer's Pandas.
Thank you.
That's good.
And then Normac. And then for support, I'd pick probably an underrated one is Crossfade from Maelstrom.
He's really good.
Nah, he's good.
And then Drugs Not Hugs from Illusion.
My boy.
And then the only reason I picked Drugs is because when I played him, he literally slept me out of Reaper ult 3 times.
If Ivana Zen becomes strong again,
Drugs is insane. Drugs is actually. And then
His name.
probably Seb from Undead Battery.
oh, that's a good pick.
I feel like if we were talking about top 5 tanks in Harmony tier, my name would definitely get thrown in there though.
No.
Top 5 tanks.
And then for
Yes.
DPS.
I'm talking main tank wise though.
Oh,
Okay.
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 And then for
Okay.
DPS, I pick. Crimson from Undead.
Crimson's fat.
J-Star, I think he'd be 6th if I had to.
Yeah, honestly. And then
'Cause,
probably
I put Player, Normac, Stanky, Yeti, and
another underrated,
Interacting and Tor above you.
another underrated DPS.
Fair enough.
What
Which
I
guy?
know he's like kind of like he's on my team, but like it's not biased because he's insane. Is Buff Llama.
Yeah,
Buff Llama. Oh my god, Buff Llama's
Yeah.
insane.
And then for probably my last DPS, just gonna go with it and say Landvatir from Karma.
I'm so mad that you took all like the original picks I was gonna take.
Just don't choose Polar. Just don't choose Polar.
Just don't
Oh
choose.
yeah, I was looking at All Stars and I was like Polar, nah.
Vela, round us out. The people want us to do Discord, but like it's no.
No, enough time.
That was really
Alright, I'll try to make it really quick. Alright, so support's pretty like unoriginal. Cryogenics, Sushi, Needle. Tank lineup, I would take Terractin for sure. Nowhere Mac. And I take Bebop as well. And then for DPS, Kurt and O for sure. And then yeah, Landbetter. I'm surprised that PDK was the first person to say Landbetter. He's insane.
Yeah.
And that would round out my 9.
I just
Yeah.
don't.
I do
do
wanna-
want for us a few times and did a really good job.
I put Scene and Splinter above Land, just being on Karma. All 3 of them are fucking nutty though. Scene
I
and
do want to bring up a name for the tank spot, and that being Rubik's.
Rubik's is good.
Oh yeah, fair point.
Yo,
And Shadow Fang.
Mountain Fall's
Shadow
actually
Fang-
kind of good though too.
As somebody who coached him, like Shadow didn't get like a whole lot of attention because he was on a losing team, but like he is really good.
Shadow was pretty good, yeah.
Same with Jen. Yeah.
Jen's dope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, that's for sure gonna be it. We've been grinding this out, which has been fun.
For sure.
I'm gonna try to do
It's
these
definitely
next
a really
season
fun time.
as well, and preferably one more before we leave. But I think all the teams that have wanted interviews are pretty much done. So we'll find some more content to do. Probably stuff like this, or me just ranting at a wall.
You just interview coming.
make sure you face cam that.
Yeah. Oh, for
Ooh.
sure. I wanna start doing random stuff. Like I went out in public the other day and I like had a microphone and I was like asking people questions about Overwatch Tranquility and they're like they just didn't know what I was talking about, but it was really funny.
That'd be a fun thing to like comment down for the last pack.
It was really funny. I was just like, do you guys also think Cryptic's a
Be like an
figure? And
Eric
they're like,
Andre
"What?"
bit.
You could do like a show match or something. That could be cool. I mean, I'd
A
watch
show
that.
ma- Oh, you know,
like-
I've been trying to. I've been thinking about because I've been just talking with random people. Like anyone who's been in an interview, just making 2 teams and just like anybody wants to participate, we just put them all on a team and just like start going. No rules, no role queue. Just like if you want to run goats, fucking do it. I don't care. So like just gaming.
I'm down.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I'll
I'd be
get that set
down.
up.
I'd be down.
Word bird. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Anyone who's new to the B drop, definitely like watch it more and join the server so you can be up to date on all this stuff. Just DM me and you'll get in. Thanks to everybody here, Booth, J-Star, PDK, Cap, Pyrovela, and Juke also was here, which was
Yep.
dope.
So
I
is
think we also-
Cryptic.
Yeah,
Kinda just-
No.
Oh, yeah, Cryptic
Oh,
was as well.
Cryptic.
Anything.
Cryptic feeder. But yeah, no, thanks for everybody for coming. Thanks for talking, and we'll definitely do more of this.
Yeah, thank you for having us, man.
More-
Yeah,
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 100%. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks
you-
everyone, but Capital.
Capital, you need to tune it down, dude.
Huh?
Oh.
Huh?
And Mario,
Alright.
have a great Thanksgiving, alright?
Alright, happy
Yeah,
Thanksgiving,
happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy
Peace.
Thanksgiving to all
I'm
of you.
Canadian.
Americans.